Hi, good morning. Online, good morning. Audible. Now, the first and the foremost one in our last class, we were discussing about which one? We were discussing about the chapter one of the one of the Karnataka Economic Survey. The Karnataka Economic Survey. Howda? Yes, online ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿದೀನಾ ಸರ್ ಕಾಣಿಸಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ okay. Now, Karnataka Economic Survey. Under this, we have discussed about, in the last class, we have discussed about what is GDP. Discuss madadva. Followed by, we have discussed about the state GDP. How the first thing we have discussed. The second one, we have discussed about what is the growth rate of Karnataka, and growth rate of India. We have discussed, yes or no? We have discussed this. The third major important one, we have discussed about what is the composition, or the sectoral percentage. Which sector has the highest percentage? Which sector? It is services sector, or I can say the tertiary sector has the highest percentage. Whereas which sector has the highest growth rate? Is it manufacturing or industries? Manufacturing or industries? It is as simple as that, secondary sector. Now, which sector is showing a negative growth rate? It is agriculture is showing a negative growth rate, nothing but minus a local. It is primary sector. Followed by we have discussed which one? In order to it is we started with our per capita income. The per capita income. Yes, done. Okay, alva. Sir, we have also discussed about what is real growth rate. We have discussed about what is the real growth rate versus nominal. Now, under which growth rate inflation has been excluded? Is it nominal Allah, or I can say real? It is real is nothing but inflation is excluded. Nothing but real GDP has been shown. Real GDP growth rate, it has been shown in this data. Whereas nominal andre, the present year prices is being calculated. Now as simple as that, common sense ang nodadadre, which one will be highest? Is it nominal or real? It must be always nominal growth rate must be highest. Now, can nominal growth rate be negative? Can nominal growth rate be negative? Exactly online. Yes, I'm following. Okay, alva. Can nominal growth rate be negative? Ilva. Take an example of COVID. It was running at minus 23.4. Nothing but it can be negative. But can real be negative? No. Obviously, yes. It can be growth. See, we don't growth. Growth can be positive or negative. It can be nominal negative, or it can also be negative with respect to real also. Yes, we have discussed till here in our last class. Okay, alva. Adadmele, we started with respect to our, I can see the per capita income. Now, under this per capita income, what do you mean by the per capita income? Now, what is the difference between per capita income and purchasing power parity? PPP andre eno? What do you mean by a PPP? What do you mean by per capita income? What do you mean by the per capita income of a particular country or a particular state or a particular district? First, okay, now what do you mean per capita income? It is the income which has been generated by a particular individual. Yes or no? Particular individual. It can be particular country level per capita income at India level. It can also be at state level, including Karnataka. It can also be at district level also. It can be at district level also. But sir, per capita income, okay, we have discussed. Now, what do you mean by PPP basis? Purchasing power parity andre enu? First, what is PPP? Now, why we need to go for PPP basis? Why we need to go for PPP basis? What is the rank of India on the PPP basis? First, exactly. See, as simple as that, I can say for analyzing the, I can say individual goods in different countries. Yes or no? Take an example of this pen. Take an example of this pen. That is, I'm comparing this pen with India with other countries. India with other countries, we call it as PPP. Now, what is the rank of India? Is it fifth or third? It is third on the basis of, per capita, or I can say the purchasing power parity. Now, this is been majorly used to compare the prices. Sir, ಯಾವ್ದನ್ನ normal comparison ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ it is burger. Normally, burger is being calculated across different countries. Yes or no? Now think that, how can we say that $1 is equal to 70 or 80 rupees? How? On what basis? On, I can say PPP basis, we'll be comparing the prices of one country with the other. Sir, henge sir antandre, henge? Now think that, what is the burger rate of India? Now think that burger rate of India it is, think that in USA it is $1. Adi riti burger is, I can say think that $1, or I can say it is rupees 80 or 90 rupees. Now can I equate this? Obviously yes. Then $1 ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋದ್ರೆ US ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದೇ ಬರ್ಗರ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲೂ ಒಂದೇ ಬರ್ಗರ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. Nothing but exchange rate of $1 is equal to 80 rupees. Nothing but we are using this PPP basis for purchasing or equating the different currencies in different regions. Yes or no? Exactly, perfect. Yes. Okay, alva 83 andre yavdo ondu. It is just a comparison. Yes, done. Now the second measuring point one, highly important one. Ee varsha question kelila per capita income mele. There will be direct question. Now, what is the per capita income of India? What is the per capita income of India? And last class it is as simple as that. It is 185,854. Yes or no? Highly important one. It is 185,185. It is the per capita income of what? Per capita income of India. Now, the per capita income of Karnataka, is it highest than the average of India or lowest? It is highest. How much percent highest? It is 79% highest. Sir, ನಮಗೆ ಇದು ಬೇಕಾ ಕತೆ ಅಂತ ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. But in general, approximately you must know. Approximate rate you must know how much percent it is highest than the national average. Highest than the national average is 79% highest. But approximate ಆಗಿ ಡಬಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. Yes or no? ಇಲ್ಲಿ 1,85,000 ಇದ್ರೆ in and around 3,32,000 ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. It is 3,32,926 rupees. Nothing but highly important. Remember this. Highly important one. It is what? It is 3,32,926 is the per capita, I can say, income of which one? Income of Karnataka. Economics sir ಓದೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. Yes, this is the growth rate. Now sir, okay, ನನಗೆ ಇದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು, ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನೇ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. But how much percent it has grown compared to last year? It is compared to last year, it has grown by more than 9%. Sir, ಇನ್ನು ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ it is 9.3, 9.4% ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗ್ರೋ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. Yes, done. As simple as that. ಅಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ, but this data is always highest, or it is required. Why it is important? Why this is important? ಏನಕ್ಕಪ್ಪ ಇದು ಬೇಕೇ ಬೇಕು? See, it shows the purchasing power parity of an individual. It shows the growth rate. It will depict the growth rate. It will depict the, I can say, spending on different, I can say, the different purchasing of equipments, or I can say getting different services. It can be health, it can be education, it can also be on getting different services also. Nothing but ನಾನು ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸರ್ವಿಸಸ್ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರೆ will my economy grow or will my economy depreciate? Obviously my economy will grow. Nothing but it is automatically, it is directly proportional to the growth rate of the country, growth rate of country or growth rate of the state also, growth rate of the state also. Yes, we have discussed this. Sir, last point ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, what does growth rate, what does more than 9% mean? What does this depict? It depicts that our economy is recovering. Our economy is recovering post ಏನು? It is post COVID. It is post COVID. It is recovering from the shock. It is recovering from the shock. Now our, I can say, income of an individual has increased. Now sir, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ 3 ಲಕ್ಷ earn ಮಾಡ್ತಿದಾರಾ? 3,32,000 earn ಮಾಡ್ತಾ, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ earn ಮಾಡ್ತಿದಾರಾ? ಈಗ ನೀವು earn ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಮಧು ಬಿಟ್ಟು. ಓಕೆ, ಮಧು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರಿಚ್. ಓಕೆ, ಹಾ, earn ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ನೀವು? Obviously no. What does exactly mean? It means average. It means what? It means average. It means average of an individual, they are earning at least 3,32,000 rupees on an average. On an average. Yes, done. This is highly important. Okay. Exactly. Investment will be more, the growth rate will be more, nothing but inflation agadanta. Next outcome will be what? Inflation. Yes or no? Yes, we'll say this. Okay, alva, end out ಇಲ್ಲಿ. Anyways, we have discussed this in our last class. Now, observe this. Take some 30 seconds. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು ನೋಡಿ. Okay, now what are the most important points from this? ಏನು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? Which state is performing at highest ranking on per capita income? It is state ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ it is Telangana. It is the first and the foremost one. Okay, I'll just brush up. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೋಡೋಣ. The first and the foremost one on the top rank by including both the UTs as well as states. UTs as well as the states are being calculated here. Now, have we taken all the states? Have we taken all the states? How many states and UTs are there? How many? Okay, 10 pitkondirenge. I'll ask a second question. Okay, first one. Out of this UTs and state, which is being ranked the highest? Which is ranked highest? It is, I can say, Delhi. First one. Delhi is being ranked on which year? I can say, which year data? Is it last year's or adikinta munche last year da? It is the last second year though. It is nothing but it is not last year's. It is 2022-23 ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. We have not taken data. It is 23 and 24. Sir, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಇದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, take an example of India or I can say Karnataka's. Karnataka though, is it 3,04,000? 3,04,000 ಯಾವಾಗಿತ್ತು? It is 22-23 22-23, whereas in 23 and 24 it has been increased to, I can say, 3,32,000. Yes, done. Now first rank has been given to, I can say, Delhi. How many? What is the per capita income of Delhi? It is 4,44,000. 444 ಅಂತ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ at least. 444 is the per capita income of which one? The per capita income of Delhi. Per capita income of Delhi. Second one, it is ranked what? Telangana. It is ranked second. Telangana is ranked second among all India level as well as at state level. State level it is ranked first. At state level, if you are considering only states, it has been ranked first. Telangana is ranked first. Now what is the per capita income? The per capita income is, I can say, 3,12,000 approximate ಆಗಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ? 8,000 ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. Nothing but close competitors. Close are competitors. Yes. And the third rank and the second at the state level. Example third ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ. It has been ranked second with respect to states. It is right. It will be right. It is right and it will be a right. Now, which state has been ranked the lowest? Can we consider this data as the lowest in Bihar anta? ನೋಡಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾಮನ್ ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. Are we considering all the states? If you are not considering all the states, how can you say that Bihar is the lowest? It can be Jharkhand also, it can be Orissa also, it can be Chhattisgarh also, it can be Daman and Diu also, Lakshadweep also. Hope you're getting. Yes, example ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ there is no data available. No data available with respect to per capita income. Per capita income, we don't have, I can say, the lowest data. The lowest data available. Will there be questions on this? Lowest? Illa. Question ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ it will be, that question will be wrong. Because we are not considering all the, I can say 28 states as well as 8 UTs na consider ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. Yes, only and only you should remember the top, I can say 3 followed by ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಬೇಕಿನ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. It is followed by the northern one, we call it as Haryana. Northern one, the northernmost state, we call it as Haryana. Exactly. Exactly. Yes. Online. Okay. Hope it is perfect. It is not Bihar. ನೋಡಿ ನೀವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಇದು ಅಂತ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಸಿಗೋದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ಕೊಡ್ತಿರೋದು. It is not Bihar. You can never say this as, I can say, the lowest. Yes. Now sir, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸರ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಇರೋದೇ ಇಷ್ಟಲ್ವಾ? You can't say. But highest ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಡೇಟಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ. If I include all those things, even then you can't say perfectly, you can't say it is Karnataka. But normally we have taken all the topmost. Hope you're getting. Now if it is a, I can say, growing country, we'll be having data. But one or the states which are working at, I can say, the lowest growth rate or lowest per capita income, they don't have money to collect the data. Nothing that Karnataka. Take an example of Karnataka and Odisha. Which country is developed? If Karnataka is developed ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, will they be having data or Odisha will be having data? ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಡೇಟಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ? Is it in Karnataka or in Odisha? Obviously in Karnataka. It is developed states will be calculating all or collecting all the data, whereas the poor countries, they don't have much of finances to push with respect to collecting of data. Yes or no? Yes. Normally ಇದನ್ನ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. Top 3 at max and lowest you can never say. Lowest you can never say because the sample collected is sample. Sir ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದು? ಈ ಕೇಳ್ದ which country is being, I can say, declared as I can say lower per capita income. ಈ 4 ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. What one will you say? It is none of the above option illa. Exactly. Among this, you must vote for the Bihar. Among this, you must vote for Bihar. But other question Kerala lowest. Normally, this is positive. There will be a question on, I can say, ranking of Karnataka based on sample collected or data available. Data availability. Yes. Okay na. ಯಾವುದು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಮಹಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರ ಇಲ್ಲ ಆ ಡೇಟಾ 2020 ಡೇಟಾ ಅವೈಲೇಬಲ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಇಲ್ಲ. It is 23-24 data we don't have. Another reason. ಸರ್ ಮಹಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೇಳಿ. ನಾನು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ yes or no? Yes, you should ask which department. Which department? It is economic survey is being released by which department? It is, I can say, Department of Planning and Program. Letter bariri. See, nothing but just to favor Karnataka, as simple as that. It will be given extra, but normally it is always favorism towards, I can say, the particular government. That kotre ಏನಾಗಿದೆ fourth ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು ಗುಜರಾತ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಗುಜರಾತ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನೋ ಗುಜರಾತ್, ನೋ ಮಹಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರ, ಪಂಜಾಬ್ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಪಂಜಾಬ್, ಹರಿಯಾಣ, ರಾಜಸ್ಥಾನ್, ಮಧ್ಯಪ್ರದೇಶ್, followed by Tamil Nadu, Kerala. Hope you're getting? Yes. Done. Followed by Puducherry. No. Ladakh. Jammu and Kashmir. Yes. Okay, alva. Done. See, Kottirutagan survey, this is the valid evidences. Ashta. Done. Next, after states, it has been ranked third with respect to state level. India or Karnataka has been ranked second. With respect to all India level, it has been ranked a third. Maximum this country. Next one, at district level. At district level, which district has been? Okay. Now, with respect to districts, with respect to district ranking, which district has been ranked highest with respect to per capita income? Now, this per capita income, it has been. Now, on what basis this per capita income will increase or per capita income will decrease? Is it based on population? Is it based on population? First and foremost one will be based on income or based on salaries. Based on income or based on salaries. The income and salaries will normally get it from which sectors? Primary, secondary and tertiary. Now, out of these three sectors, where can you earn more income? It is reversely. Highest is tertiary, followed by secondary, followed by primary. Now, a particular district, if they are focusing on services sector, will there be highest per capita income or lowest per capita income? It must be highest per capita income. Nothing but states or districts which are, I can say, which are focusing on primary sectors. I'll show you the data also. No, ranking what is the toppest one, what is the lowest one, based on districts also we'll discuss. Now, with respect to per capita income, easily you can see which district is, I can say, ranked first. It must be capital. It must be capital alva. Yes or no? It is Bengaluru urban. It's not rural. It is not rural. It is Bengaluru urban has been ranked the highest one. It is ranked at the first rank. What about second one? Yes, it is Dakshina Kannada and Udupi. Dakshina Kannada and Udupi has been ranked the second and the third. Sir, Dakshin Kannada matte Udupi li, do we have services sector? If yes, what type of services sector is prevalent? It is fisheries. See, agriculture aitala fisheries adre. It is majorly, it is transportation, waterways. ನಾನು already ಇಂಟ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. It is 70% of our what? 90% of, I can say, volume. 90% of volume, 70% of the value of international transport takes place via what ways? It is via waterways. Now, waterways karkondu hogtiddaga in bitiyag ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಾ? Will they do it for free? Obviously no. They'll charge money. Nothing but ಏನು services? Sir, ಇದೊಂದು ಆಯ್ತು. What is the second biggest services? ಕಾರ್ತಿಕ್ ಹೇಳಿ ಪಟ್ಪಡೆ ಅಂತ. It is tourism. It is second major important activity. It is our tourism. It is the tourism. It is the tourism which is being ranked against Dakshin Kannada as well as Udupi. Example ಏನಾದರೂ ಉತ್ತರ ಕನ್ನಡ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ? Why not, I can say, Uttar Kannada district? Because relying on agriculture is more in Uttar Kannada district. Okay, alva? Yes, top 3 saku. Whereas lowest 3, ಯಾವ್ದಪ್ಪ lowest 3? ನೋಡಿ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಪಟ್ಪಟ್ಟದ. You should never mug up. You should understand a concept. Why this states, that is Bidar, Belgavi and Kalaburgi. ನೋಡಿ ಬೆಳಗಾವಿ ಕೂಡ ಬಂದಿದೆ under lowest per capita income. Why? It is dependent on agriculture, dependent on dry land farming, dependent on rain fed farming is more. Again ನೋಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲ main topics. Questions ಹೆಂಗ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ based on economic survey. It is they are dependent majorly on, I can say, primary sector, and it is it I can say, is it based on monsoon or it is irrigated land? It is majorly based on monsoon. Majorly based on monsoon. Obviously last year we are facing what? We are facing drought situation. Obviously this stage generation of the income will also drop, will also come down. Okay alva? Yes. Then maximum ಇಷ್ಟೇ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲಿ, top 3 followed by I can say the top, the below one. ನಾವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಯಶ್ ಯಾವ್ದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಕು? ಹಾಂ ಮೊದಲು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಯಾವ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್? ಹಾಂ ನೀನು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರೋದೇ ತಗೋತೀಯ ನೀನು ಸರ್. ನೋ ಓಕೆ ಡನ್. ಯಶ್ ಅವ್ರ ಸೂರ್ಯ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂನ್ಸಿ ಅವರು ಸೂರ್ಯ ಯಾರು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ದಂತೆ ಕೇಳೋ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ಅದು ಬಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಇವತ್ತು ಸರ್ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ರೂರಲಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಬಿಜೆಪಿನ ಗೆಲ್ಲೋದು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೈಂಡ್ RSS ಬೆಲ್ಟ್ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ ಅಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಬೇಜಾರಿಲ್ಲ ತಾನೆ? ಓಕೆ Next one, it is the district level data. Now with respect to district level data, now second major ag nodadadre will be analyzing which district has been ranked top with respect to agriculture, which district has been ranked with respect to industries, and which district has been ranked top with respect to services. Adadmele ottare agi which district has been ranked the topmost anta nodana. Now before to this see this chart. ಅದನ್ನು ಓದ್ಬಿಡಿ, ರೈಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಇರೋದು ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಟೈಮ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದಿಸ್, ಸಿ ದಿಸ್. ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ರೈಟೀರಿಯಾಸ್ ಆರ್ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮೀಟರ್ಸ್? ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್, ದ ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್, ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್, ಸರ್ವಿಸಸ್ ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್, ಓವರ್ ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್. We'll see online based on the regions also or divisions also we'll see. Now which division has the highest per capita income? Bengaluru followed by? Bengaluru, okay. Second ಯಾವುದು? See ಇರೋದೇ 4 ಅಲ್ವಾ? How many districts are there in Karnataka? 31. How many divisions? 4. Now out of this which division has the largest division? It is ಕಲಬುರ್ಗಿನ ಬೆಳಗಾವಿ ಡಿವಿಷನ್. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಒಂದು ಹೇಳಿ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು, ಇದರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಆರ್ ದಿಸ್, ಅವ್ರು ಎರಡೂ ಅಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು. ಓಕೆ, ಥಿಂಕ್ ದಿಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ವಿಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ವೆನ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. NCERT ಇದೆ, 6th NCERT ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? Shall we see this? Now with respect to I can say the table sector wise. Now what do you mean by sector wise? It is the different sectors or different activity based. That is divided into 3 things: agriculture, industry, services. Done. And we need to discuss about top 3 and below 3. Top 3, below 3. Top 3, bottom 3. Yes, adadmel rank. Ignore the first one, agriculture. Under agriculture, which district has been ranked the highest? It is the first and foremost one. ಈಗ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಾ? Why the I can say Belgavi it is leading with respect to the lowest per capita income based on districts. Because highly important one ಯಾವ್ದಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ it is the first and foremost one. It is the first rank. Second rank goes to second rank It is Vijaypura or Bijapura or Bijapur. Yes, done. Third one, idu nange beke bekilli. Eshtu janake mittirutte. It is Mysore district. It is majorly focusing on agricultural activity. So services illa antandre, services is just majorly restricted to the city of Mysore. We are talking about district wise ranking. Illodi, district wise domestic product. District wise domestic product, the first rank is, I can say, first rank goes to Belgavi, second one with respect to Vijaypura, and the third rank it is Mysore. Third rank Mysore. Okay alva? Yes. Now bottom nodadadre, which one has been ranked the bottom? Yado bottom mo idu ee chart alli agatta innond chart torisbeka nimage torisbeka enike it is 31 districts. It is lowest is, I can say, Gadag. Lowest is Gadag. Idon note ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, lowest is Gadag. Followed by 30th one ಯಾವ್ದು ಇವಾಗ ತಂದು ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, it is the Dharwad. 30th one it is Dharwad. Gadag and Dharwad. Yes, done. Okay. Now the second major important column which majorly talks about, I can say, the industry ranking. See, industry is a comprehensive term majorly for secondary sector, whereas manufacturing is a sub part of industry, sub part of industrial sector. Now under this industrial ranking, which has been ranked the highest, Bangalore urban, followed by Dakshin Kannada, followed by third ranking, it is Tumakuru. Okay alva? Now first one, it is first second done. Now sir ನಾನು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಗೊತ್ತು manufacturing ಎಲ್ಲ manufacturing items ಇದಾವೆ. Now what is the manufacturing activity which is restricted to Dakshina Kannada, or what is the industries which are prevalent in Dakshina Kannada region? Oil refineries, cement Dakshin Kannadadalli, food processing, ice, ಏನಕ್ಕೆ fish, no, exactly, it is majorly with respect to processing part. It is everything is being processed and it is exported via, I can say, exported via Mangalore port, the major Mangalore port, and the third ranking goes to Tumkur. See, Tumkur, why Tumkur now? It is industrial corridor which has been established. Within this industrial corridor, Asia's largest helicopter manufacturing company which has also been established. Asia's largest manufacturing company which has been established. Okay, alva? This is, I can say, top one. Now bottom three, saka table beka innondu. Okay. It is all three. It is a Kodagu. It's been ranked, I can say, one of the lowest, followed by Yadgiri as well as Gadag. Done. Okay now. Next one, services. See, example services ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ. They'll ask a question either industry or agriculture ಮೇಲೆ, because everyone knows about services. Obviously, Bengaluru, followed by Bengaluru as well as Dakshin Kannada services. Yes or no? With respect to services, it is 1 and 2. Now sir, which sector it is being given highest, I can say, sectoral percentage? Which sector is being given highest sectoral percentage? It is services. It is more than 65%. Obvious ಆಗಿ ಇದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಯು ಥಿಂಕ್ ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಬರಬೇಕು? If it is second rank, obviously it must be second rank. Yes, done. As simple as that. As simple as that. At districts which are performing with respect to services, automatically the overall GDP of a particular district will also be highest. Adar jotege our per capita income of the district will also be decided. Per capita income, it has also been decided. ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಸರ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ 100 ರೂಪಾಯಿ 65 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದನೇ ಬರ್ತಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ವಿಸಸ್ ಇಂದ. ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಮೆಜಾರಿಟಿ. This majority will decide the overall ranking. Majority will decide the overall ranking. Now, with respect to services, which districts are being ranked below? It must be same alva. Now, why Kodagu? Why Kodagu? Why Kodagu? Why Yadgiri? Why Yadgiri? Because Kodagu ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ majorly focused on plantation crops. Majorly based on plantation crops, or major focus it has been given on which sector? Primary sector. Major importance has been given on primary sector. Other jotage it is a tourist activity, but major it is a primary. But major it is the primary activity. Whereas Yadgiri, it is primary economic activity. But sir, primary economic activity ಎಲ್ಲ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳೀತಾರ ಅವರು? Obviously no, because it is dependent on what? It is dependent on I can say what? Dependent on monsoon. Which is the I can say the below states which has been ranked with respect to overall status. Again you ಮೂರೇ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಸರ್ ಇವು ಮೂರು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ their major focus on primary activity. ಹೌದೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ? Their major focus on primary activity. Majority of the time, majority of the energy, majority of the workforce, it has been diverted towards only 13% of our income. And the primary sector ಗೆ ಅವ್ರು ಹೆಂಗ್ ಬರ್ತಾರ ಅವರು? Now think that the same thing applies to your examination also. Now think that each and every exam or each and every I can say paper has equal weightage. A equal weightage ಇದ್ದಾಗ should you need to give equal weightage or less and more? Equal weightage ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲಿ. But ಇಲ್ಲಿ there is disparities. Primary sector percentage is lesser. ಅಂದಾಗ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ? You should give lesser time, lesser energy, lesser investment. But ಆದ್ರೆ ಇವರು more time, more energy, more investment is given to which one? Agriculture. Nothing but they have been ranked below. They have been ranked with respect to bottom. Okay now, yes, a questions ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ? Yes, as simple question as that. Now the first and the foremost one, it is which state has been ranked the highest with respect to overall? It is Bangalore urban. Which I can say state which has been ranked highest with respect to industry? Bangalore urban. Which state has been ranked the highest with respect to primary? It is Belagavi. Then adondu bittu innella same ditto. Now which state has been ranked I can say bottom with respect to industry and services? It is Kodagu. Excluding primary ಯಾವುದು? It is Gadag. Primary is Gadag. In ಮಿಕ್ಕಿ ಎರಡು it is Kodagu. See ಕೊಡಗು ಹೋದಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ ನೋಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಏನು ನೋಡಲ್ಲ. ಇದರ್ ಫುಲ್ ಮರ ಗಿಡ or it will be tourism. Yes or no? Yes. Last one. Which state has been ranked with respect to overall ranking in the bottom level? It is again the same thing Kodagu. It's again same thing Kodagu. It is only our point ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಮುಗೀತು. End of the game. Yes, done. Okay, ಅದನ್ನೇ I have mentioned there. Now the next major important one. Okay ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ. ಇನ್ನು last one. Now what is the sectoral composition? 13.7. Total ಎಷ್ಟು? Average is 13.7. For primary, secondary ಎಷ್ಟು? 20.9. We have discussed already. ಇವ್ರು ಎಷ್ಟು ದಬ್ಬಾಕ್ತಿದ್ರು, ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಾಂಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋದು? It is only 13.7. 13.7 followed by 20.9 with respect to secondary sector, whereas 65% it has been contributed by tertiary sector. It has been contributed by tertiary sector. Total eshtagatile 100%. 100% we call it as GDP or GSDP of a particular state. That is gross state domestic product. Gross state domestic product. Yes, done. Okay now. Clear. Next one. Observe this. Yes, online, perfect. Exactly. Online, hope you are getting the points. Huh. Now, how many districts are there in Karnataka? It is 31. This is easier. How many divisions are there in Karnataka? It is 4 division. It is 4 division. But in 4 division, which one do you think the largest division? It is Bengaluru, largest. Huh? Bengaluru. Okay, second one. See, ನನ್ನ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಲಾರ್ಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ದು ಲಾರ್ಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿರೋದು? ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಾ? ನಾನು ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲಾರ್ಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು. ಐ ಡಿಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಯು ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಲಾರ್ಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ಸ್. Yes or no? Area wise, it is the rank first. Now with respect to 4 divisions, one we call it as Bengaluru division. ನೋಡಿ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಒಕ್ರವಾಗಿ ಹೋಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಶಿವಮೊಗ್ಗ, ದಾವಣಗೆರೆ comes under which division? It is ಶಿವಮೊಗ್ಗ, ದಾವಣಗೆರೆ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ. Eastern one. Whereas ದಾವಣಗೆರೆ as well as ಶಿವಮೊಗ್ಗ comes under which one? That is a Bengaluru division. It is Bengaluru urban division ಅಲ್ಲ, Bengaluru division in general. Bengaluru division ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ. Second division we call it as what? The western part, including ಯಾವುದು ಇದು? Till. Excluding ಯಾವುದು? Excluding one coastal district. Excluding one coastal district comes under Belgavi division. This division we call it as what? I can say, ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ, ಚಾಮರಾಜನಗರ, ಮೈಸೂರು, ಮಂಡ್ಯ, ಪಕ್ಕನಾ, ರಾಮನಗರ. Okay, ನೋಡಿ. Next one. What about Kodagu? Mysura. Yes. What about Nagarole? Pakana. Okay. What about Kudremukh? Chikmagalur. What about Asan? Mysore. Okay. You would agree. Now, next one. See, ಇದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಉಡುಪಿ, ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಕನ್ನಡ, followed by majorly ಈ ಮಂಡ್ಯ, ರಾಮನಗರ borders. But Ramnagara near to Bangalore. It is added as Bangalore division. What about Chitradurga? Tumkuru. Followed by Kolar. Followed by Chintamani. Pakana. Okay. Chiblapura. Okay. Done. Next one with respect to next one, it is Hyderabad Karnataka region, or it's also called as Kalyana Karnataka region. This is doubt and answer because everything comes under, I can say, KK region. ಇಲ್ಲಿ major important one, it was Bidar, Kalburgi or Gulbarga, Yadgiri, Raichur, Koppal, followed by Vijayanagaram and Ballari. Vijayanagaram ಯಾವ division ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಈಗ? It must be with respect to Kalburgi division. Yes, followed by ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದೆಲ್ಲ ಗದಗ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? ಬೆಳಗಾವಿ, ಉತ್ತರ ಕನ್ನಡ, ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಕನ್ನಡ. ಓಕೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಹಾವೇರಿ, ಬಿಜಾಪುರ, ಬಾಗಲಕೋಟೆ, ಬಳ್ಳಾರಿ, ದಂಡ. ಓಕೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವಿಜಯಪುರ, ಉತ್ತರ ಕನ್ನಡ, ಹಾವೇರಿ, ಗದಗ್, ಬಾಗಲಕೋಟೆ, ಧಾರವಾಡ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಟ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ I can say Belgaum division. Area wise which is largest, it is Belgaum. With respect to district wise ಅಂತ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. Yes, done. With respect to per capita income ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ economic survey. Now the third major important one you must know about, I can say district wise as well as I can say district wise or division wise ಬಗ್ಗೆ district wise ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ ನಾವು. District wise which is ranked first, it is Bengaluru urban. Second ಯಾವುದು? It is Dakshin Kannada and Udupi. Now out of this top rank goes to which division? Bangalore division, and this goes to Mysore division. Obviously division alli yaru barutte first? It is Bangalore region followed by Mysore. Third one it is our Belgavi, and the least per capita income wise we call it as Kalaburgi region. Sir, example idin keltara kelala, but they will include all these divisions, but with respect to Bangalore regionally they'll exclude Bangalore urban exclude ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಈಗ ranking ಹೆಂಗಾಗುತ್ತೆ? It is now which is first avaga with respect to if I exclude this Bangalore urban region, the core part of Bengaluru or capital of Karnataka exclude ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ first one will be this, second one will be Bengaluru. In ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಹಂಗೆ ಫಾಲೋ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Yes, be cautious with respect to this. Sir, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಓಕೆ, ಇದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಆಯ್ತು, ಬಟ್ ಮೇನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇಜರ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಒನ್ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, nothing but 50% of this contribution ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ? It is only ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿಂದ. Nothing but in ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ರೀಜನ್ ಇಂದ ಸೇರಿ, ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ರೀಜನ್ ಇಂದ ಸೇರಿ. Now think that this is our Bangalore region. ಈ Bangalore region, it has been ranked I can say top with respect to what? Per capita income. But ನಾನು ಸರ್ ಈ ಒಂದು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಅರ್ಬನ್ ಇಂದ ಮಾತ್ರ 50% ರ್ಯಾಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ, ಅವ್ರ 50% ಪರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ. ಇನ್ ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ದು ಈ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ರೀಜನ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಇನ್ ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ 50% ಬರ್ತಿದೆ. Don't you think it's the worst performance with respect to inequality? Nothing but the people are migrating into which city? It is the Bangalore city, and they are earning per capita income. This is one of the, I can say, worst one with respect to inequalities. Excluding urban bittu. Excluding this urban bitre, highly important one. They can be questions with respect to society or economy. Inequality with respect to the Bangalore region also. The region. Yes, 50% has been contributed by urban region. 50% has been contributed by urban region. Okay alva? Yes, done. ನಾನು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸಿ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಅರ್ಬನ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು. ಹಳ್ಳಿ ಕಡೆ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ರೂರಲ್ಗೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ರೋಡ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬಸ್ಸಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟೀಸ್. ವಿ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಮಚ್ ಡ್ರಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟೀಸ್, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಸಿಟಿ. ಈಗ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಯಿತು, ನಾನೀಗ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಓಕೆ, ಇಟ್ ಡಸಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಮಚ್ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲುಯೆನ್ಸ್. ಮುಗಿತಾರೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್, ಇನ್ನೇನಿದೆ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ 10 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ದಬಾಕಿದೀವಿ ನಾವು ಅಂತ, ಆ ದಬಾಕಿರೋದು ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. Nothing but we can't even blame Congress also, because opposition who are sitting in or ruling party is BJP. Will they provide compensation or will they provide fund for the development of Bangalore rural? No, or ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಕೊಡೋದು ಮನ್ರೇಗಾ. And based on that only DK Suresh has been won the medal for implementing Manrega schemes. Manrega scheme implement ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ, that is the worst form of employment. Hope you getting? Is it good? No, that should be the last go. If they are using Manrega antandreno, nothing but majorly what employment is being provided? Unskilled, low skilled, no skilled employment is being generated. Dinike daily wage labors are more anta. That's the worst performance in this surrounding region. Yes, done. This is about the division-wise data. Division-wise data. Yes. Next one, it is the prices and the inflation. Now, sir, okay, now discuss it is inequality, it is majorly prominent in major different regions between the different divisions. See, highest, I can say, per capita income generating a country or the division here is, which one? That is the two major important divisions. One is Bengaluru, followed by, I can say, the Mysore region. Nothing but majority of these districts are present in south of Karnataka. Now, what about the north? See, our Kedathal nyaya idyo ilvo? If it is Karnataka, if we are staying in Karnataka, why should we be with Karnataka? If all the industries, all the, I can services sector are concentrated in and around Bengaluru, in and around Tumkur, in and around, I can say, Mysore region. Why should we be with Karnataka? We want different state. Yes, first question. Second question here is, according to our economic survey, there is disparities which are, I can say, cropping up between the different regions. Nothing but we are not establishing the services sector. IT and IT enabled services are not being established in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. Yes, done. Okay, second major important one. See, obviously, Tumkur established helicopter, I can say Asia's largest helicopter manufacturing company. Don't you think which can be established even in Belgavi also? Sir, connectivity and the we have ports also for export, for importing of goods. Yes, and Adagila, at least you could have established in Bellary, at least in Hospete. We have good environment. And you the government irado. Allu kuda. Aram se clearances clear sigata. And you can also grab land also. Yes or no? Then madbodittu, but yaake madilla antandre major agi we need to establish our industries near to where? Near to our, I can say, capital. Near to our capital, so that scientists can reach there. Followed by MOUs can be signed easily. What MOUs? Memorandum of Understanding can be signed easily. Followed by export can also be done from HL airport anta. HL airport. Yes. Okay, Modi bandaga hogidralla alli. Tejasali bye bye anta clouds gella. Nodilva? Yes. The same Tejas. LCA Tejas. Okay. But second one, under first chapter we call it as the prices. Now, what do you mean by prices? Is prices lowest or the prices is running at the faster pace? What do you think? Exactly. North allu sakkatagidaವೆ. Okay. ನೋಡೋಣ ಬೆಳಗಾವಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಇವತ್ತು. ಬೆಳಗಾವಿ obviously ಧಾರವಾಡ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗೆಲ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರು ಬಿಜೆಪಿ. ಆಲ್ ದಿಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಹಬ್ ಆಫ್ RSS. ಸರ್ ನೋ ಧಾರವಾಡ ಅವಾಗಿನ ಜಮಾನದಿಂದ ಬೆಳಗಾವಿನೂ ಗೆಲ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದು ಬೇರೆ ಶೆಟ್ಟರ್, ಬಟ್ ನೋಡೋಣ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಒಂಥರ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಸಿಂಪತಿ. ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ವಾಟ್ ಲಾಪ್. ಬಟ್ ಇವ್ರ ಮಗ ನಿಂತಿದ್ದಾನಲ್ವಾ, ಹೆಬ್ಬಾಳ್ಕರ್ ಮಗ. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನೇಮ್? ಓಕೆ, ನೋಡೋಣ ಗೆಲ್ಸ್ತಾರೋ ಏನೋ ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ, ಗೆಲ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾಕೆ? 28,000 ಕೋಟಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರನೇ. ಒಂದೇ ಸ್ಕೀಮಲ್ಲಿ 28,000 ಕೋಟಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿಸ್? ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಗೃಹಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿ ಸ್ಕೀಮ್, ಲಾರ್ಜೆಸ್ಟ್ 5G ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ. ನಮ್ಗಂತೂ ಒಂದಿನ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ, ಕೊಡಲ್ವ ನಮಗೆ? ಅಲ್ಲ ನಾವೇನು ಪಾಪ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ ಹೇಳಿ? ನಮ್ಗೇನು ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ, ಬಸ್ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ, ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಒನ್ ಗೃಹಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ, ಥರ್ಡ್ ಒನ್ ಯುವನಿಧಿ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ, ಫೋರ್ತ್ ಒನ್ ಏನು ಅನ್ನಭಾಗ್ಯ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಸಿಟಿ ಒಂದು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರಷ್ಟೇ. ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಸಿಟಿನೂ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸ್ಯಾಲ್ರಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ 200 ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್. ಅದು ಬೇಸಿಗೆಲೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ, 200 ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಪಟ್ಟಂತ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಏನೋ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅವರೊಬ್ಬ. Now, what do you mean by prices? What do you mean by prices? Is the prices lowest or highest in Karnataka or in general India? Now, what do you mean by prices? Prices is nothing but increased cost of spending. Yes or no? Increased cost of spending with respect to purchasing of different essential commodities. Essential commodities. Sir, cost ಆದ್ರೆ ಆಗ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡಿ ಸರ್, ನನಗೇನು? Will I get impacted? Nange impact agalva? Obviously I'll get impacted. Now think that last year this pen was 10 rupees. This pen was 10 rupees. At 10 rupees idaga I was purchasing, my income was 100 rupees. Aವಾಗ ಎಷ್ಟು ಪೆನ್ ತಗೋತಿದ್ದೆ? 10 ಪೆನ್ ತಗೋತಿದ್ದೆ. I was purchasing 10 pens, but now think that this pen cost has increased from 10 rupees to 20 rupees. ಇವಾಗ ಎಷ್ಟು ತಗೋತೀನಿ ನಾನು? It is only 5. Now what is the impact of purchasing 5? Now rupees at 10 to rupees 20. Now I am purchasing only 5. Now what is the impact of purchasing only 5? One is it will impact the, I can say, people. It will impact the people. That is, consumption as well as purchasing power of an individual will come down. First thing. Second thing, sir, ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ದುಡ್ಡಿದೆ ನಾನು ತಗೋತೀನಿ, but what about poor people? Don't you think the cost of, I can say, cost on the particular essential commodities will increase? ಬಡವರಿಗೆ ಈಗ ಬರ್ತಾರದ 50 ರೂಪಾಯಿ, ಮೊದಲು 5 ತಗೋತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಈಗ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ? ಈಗ they'll purchase only, I can say, 2 or 2.5 pence. Nothing but in ಮಿಕ್ಕಿ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಖಾಲಿಯಾಗಿ ಕೂತಿರ್ತಾರೆ. Yes, first reason. Second reason, what is the impact on economic growth? What is the impact on individual? Okay, what is the impact on economic growth? It is second major important one here is, now if I am purchasing lesser, what does it mean? It means demand is lesser. Demand lesser andre ಏನು? Nothing but supply should also drop. Supply drop ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, don't you think the employment will also come down? Firing, layoff will be more. Nothing but what? Unemployment rate will increase. Unemployment rate will increase. With more unemployment, our growth rate of a state will come down. Our growth rate of a country will, or I can say state will come down. Drop ಆಗತ್ತೆ. Yes, it's a cyclical impact. ಸರ್, ಇದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಏನ್ ಸರ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೇಷನ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ ಈಗ. Gradual rise in prices, we call it as what? Gradual rise in prices, we call it as inflation. Obviously, inflation has impact on the people or individual and even on the government also. Yes, then this is with respect to this. Sir, prices na calculate ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ, we have various tools. What are different tools excluding WPSCPI ಬಿಟ್ಟು? It is the first and foremost level ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದು? It is PPI. ಇದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಏನು ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಇದು. It is GDP deflator. Yes, done. ನೋಡೋಣ ನಾಲ್ಕರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ. Now the first and foremost level ಅಲ್ಲಿ, at wholesale market, which evidences we will be calculating? We will be undertaking at wholesale mandis ali, will be undertaking WPI, that is wholesale price index. At retail level, will be undertaking what level? It is CPI index, that is consumer price index. No basics. Third one, if you want to calculate the complete, I can say, economy, will be undertaking which data or which method? It is GDP deflator, followed by last one, it is the PPI. We call it as the PPI. Now with respect to, so basics now, what do you mean by WPI? What do you mean by CPI? What do you mean by WPI? What do you mean by? Nothing that this is are different stages or of production. Now, first and foremost one will be what? First and foremost one, think that this is the production of this pen, production level. ಈ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ರಿಟೇಲ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡತ್ತಾ, or ಹೋಲ್ಸೇಲ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತಾ, or ಎಕಾನಮಿಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತಾ? In general economy, with respect to economy ಇದ್ದಾಗ, we will be undertaking which method to calculate the prices or in general inflation. It is GDP deflator or GDP calculation. It has been undertaken. GDP level, it has been undertaken. It is nothing but what? The final goods and services which has been produced within the territory within a particular year. Within a particular time period, we call it as a GDP calculation. Wholesale market ladre will undertake what? We will undertake, that is WPI. We will undertake WPI. What is WPI? Wholesale price index. Wholesale price index is being undertaken for by at retail level. At retail level, it is CPI. What is CPI? Consumer price index. Consumer price index. Okay, now this is the oldest methods. This three is the oldest method. But recent agi, the Ministry of Labor as well as Ministry of Statistics has proposed a new method of calculation of inflation. And that method we call it as what? We call it as PPI. Innu implement agilla idu. It is PPI. What is PPI? The producer price index. Producer price index in the mother. Now, what is the difference between WPI and CPI? Now, first and foremost one, it is calculated at which level? It is calculated at which level? It is wholesale market. Wholesale market. Whereas CPI? CPI, it is at retail market or at consumer market. Retail market or I can say at consumer market. Example ಕೇಳಲೇ ಬೇಕು topic ಮೇಲೆ. Inflation ಮೇಲೆ question ಇರಲೇಬೇಕು. I'm saying ಕೇಳಲೇ ಬೇಕು. It is retail market or I can say at consumer market. First one. Second one, WPI and CPI includes which all items? Does it include only goods or both goods and services? Yavadu goods, yavadu services? Wholesale is only goods. Wholesale is only goods. Exactly. Wholesale is only includes only and only goods matra. Manufactured or industrial items ashte. It does not include what? It does not include services. Does it include goods which have been manufactured in foreign? Yes or no? Does it include the goods manufactured in USA? Goods manufactured in China? Yes or no? It is yes, yes, yes. Now this includes both goods and services. Goods and services. Secondary method tertiary kuda. Secondary and tertiary. Does it include the foreign goods? Does it include foreign goods? Yes or no? See, tapparu puragila confident agili. Yes. Now, third parameter. Now, this is released by yaro? Released by, it is Office of Economic Advisor, OEA under which ministry? Ministry of Commerce, under Department of DPIIT, Department of Policy, Industry and Internal Trade, Ministry of Commerce. Ministry of Commerce, correct? Yes, tappa illa andre. Satisfied ತಾನೆ? ನಾನು ತಲೆ ಬಗ್ಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೆ, ನಾನು ಏನು ಹೇಳಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. Second one, it is released by, it is NSO. It is not CSO. It is not CSO. It is NSO, National Statistical Office. National Statistical Office, which has been established by submerging already CSO and NSSO, National Sample Survey Organization. Under which ministry? Under Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Ministry of, I can say SPI. Yes, done. Now, which I can say, which goods or services are being given highest weightage? highest weightage. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದು it is manufacturing items or manufacturing goods are being given highest weightage, whereas ಅಲ್ಲಿ it is food and fuel. ಮೊದಲು food consuming, ಮೊದಲು food followed by fuel, food as well as the fuel, okay alva? Yes, this is majorly about WPI and CPI. Sir ishtena sir antandre ಇನ್ನೊಂದು last one ಇದೆ, the types of CPI. What are different types of CPI? What are different types of CPI? ಎಷ್ಟು types ಇದೆ? It is 4. It is CPI IW, CPI agriculture laborer, rural laborer. Last one, it is combined. CPI combined ಅಷ್ಟೇ. Combined ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? It includes the rural monthly, rural ಆದರೆ monthly, urban ಆದರೆ it is weekly data is being calculated, combined. Now this the CPI data are released by ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು? It is Ministry of Labor. It is Labor Bureau, which is present in LA. It is present in Shimla. Where is Shimla? It is Shimla pakka alva? Yes, karthik ninge ಗೊತ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದು ಎರಡು ಸರಿ ಕನ್ಫರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಹ್ಞೂ ಸರ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. It is Shimla. Under which ministry? Ministry of Labor and Employment. And the Ministry of Labor and Employment. See, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ you will understand the data. Second one, ಇನ್ನೇನು ಮಗಪ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. Everything is conceptual, if you know this. Now combined data, it is released by NSO. It is NSO under Ministry of SPI or SPI, Statistics and Program Implementation. Now ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಕಥೆ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಸರ್ ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಸಾಕ ಅಂತ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಇದೆ. Now, which is the monetary policy, I can say, committee which has been established to regulate inflation in India? It is, I can say, we have established a committee called as Monetary Policy Regulator with respect to inflation targeting. We call that committee as what? Monetary Policy Committee. It is MPC. This MPC has been established in which year? It has been established in the year 2016. It has been, I can say, established in the year 2016 under which act? Is it act or just a policy or rules, regulations? Whatever body is this? MPC, Monetary Policy Committee. See, inflation is not the muxle bardo. This basics I am teaching. It is Monetary Policy Committee which has been established in the year 2016 on the recommendation of, it is Urjit Patel Committee. It is the former governor of RBI. It is Urjit Patel Committee recommendations. On this basis, we have amended our original act of RBI. We call it as RBI Act of which year? It is RBI Act of 1934 has been amended in 2016. And we have established a Monetary Policy Committee Act of 2016. Nothing but whatever body is now. It is a statutory body. Monetary Policy Committee Act of 2016. Now, what's the composition? 6 members, 3 from RBI side, 3 from government side. Sakkat controversial ಇದೆ. Last week in the news ಇದೆ. Despite rising inflation to more than 6.5%, this MPC has not changed the, I can say, inflation targeting or inflation rate for 7th consecutive term. Sir, ಇವ್ರು ಯಾವಾಗ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮುಗಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Because if I raise the interest rate, that will have an impact on economic growth. That will have an impact on employment. That will have an impact on the price rise also. Yes, done. Raise ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ 7th consecutive term ಕೂಡ they have not raised the interest. Despite our inflation, it has been growing at 6.5% after COVID. One of the highest I can say after COVID. But ಆದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಇವ್ರ ಕೆಲಸನೇ ಅದು. ಬಟ್ ಈ ಕೆಲಸನೂ ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅವರು. That is 3 members from RBI side, 3 members from government side. Appointed by ಯಾರು ಇವ್ರನ್ನ? Appointed by government. That is nothing but the ruling party. Appointed by the government. Appointed by government. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಜಾರಿಟಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲ, ನನ್ನ 4 ಬೇಕು. ಮೆಜಾರಿಟಿ 4 ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ 3 ಜನ ನನ್ನ ಕಡೆ ಇದಾರಲ್ಲ. Anyways, governor has also been appointed by the government. Nothing but it is not an independent body, rather it is an influential body, politically influenced body with respect to inflation. Now what's the objective of this? Your objective ಏನಪ್ಪ? That is inflation targeting. Inflation a target ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. Now what is the inflation targeting which has been fixed in India in 2021 ಅಲ್ಲಿ? Once in 5 years change ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರಬೇಕು. 2016 ಎಸ್ಟಾಬ್ಲಿಷ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, 21 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಿತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. They have extended again for 5 more years till 2026 ವರೆಗೂ. Once in 5 years we need to change the target. We need to change the target. Based on this target, inflation target has been fixed by this committee under a legal act. What is the target? It is 4 plus or minus 2%. Range ಎಷ್ಟಪ್ಪ? It is 4 plus 2 ಎಷ್ಟು? It is 6. 4 minus 2. It is 2. It is the range should be in the range of 2 to 6%. Range should be, our inflation should be in the range of 2 to 6%. ಇವಾಗ ಎಷ್ಟು ಹೋಗ್ತಿದೆ? 6.5% ಹೋಗ್ತಿದೆ. Don't you think the RBI governor or this MPC should act in a, I can say, legal manner to curb this inflation rise or price rise? But ಆದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ they are not taking any measures. What does it shows? It shows they are not abiding to our legal codes. Yes or no? Violation alva adu? Obviously yes. We can approach to Supreme Court also saying that your initiative ತಗೋತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. Because violation of laws. Violation of law ಆದರೆ who is the idea? It is Supreme Court. I can go to Supreme Court or High Court against government. Yes. Okay ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಇಷ್ಟು ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಸಾಕು. Followed by last one. If we want to calculate the data of the complete economy, I'll be calculating what? I will be calculating the GDP. Now what do you mean by? What do you mean by GDP rate? What do you mean by a GDP deflation? GDP deflation ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? What do you mean GDP deflation? It is GDP, I can say deflation is nothing but the ratio of nominal upon real. ನಾನು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ already. Nominal is present year prices, real is based on, I can say, the base year into 100. I'll be getting a percentage of inflation rise. Percentage of inflation rise. Yes sir, ಇನ್ನು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಷನ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಡಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, nothing that this year Karnataka ಅದು ಒಂದು 10% ಹೋಗ್ತಿದೆ. Now 10% nominal, real thing that it is running at 5%. 10 ಇತ್ತು, base year was 5, minus ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ? 10 minus 5, it is 5 into ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? 100%. I'll be getting what? Inflation rate. I'll be getting inflation rate. Now sir, this inflation rate accurate ಆಗಿರುತ್ತಾ ಇದು? Will the inflation rate will be accurate? No. Why? Because it is calculated only the goods of particular country ಅಷ್ಟೇ, or manufactured within India. Yes or no? GDP ಏನು ಎರಡು ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, goods services ಇದೆ, but ಆದರೆ only which is manufactured within India, only the services are provided only in India. It's not accurate. But which is more accurate? It is CPI. CPI is more accurate. ಆ CPI ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ದು ಸಖತ್ accurate ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ it is CPI combined. And that's the reason this MPC has been using, I can say MPC has been using UPSC 2016 ಅಲ್ಲಿ question ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. UPSC 2016, that is 2016 ಅಲ್ಲಿ question. Done? Clear? So recent ಆಗಿ PPI ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ. What is the PPI? What is PPI? Now this PPI is released by first PPI is released by BBN. Yaru? PPI? No one. Because it is not yet implemented. It is not yet implemented. But the concept super sir and obviously super. Why? This is being calculated from the view of not ಈಗ wholesale ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಇದೆ, CPI ಇದೆ. We don't have a data which is being manufactured at producers level. Now we will be calculating the data or inflation rise at the first and the foremost stage of manufacturing and at services level. This is the first stage from producers perspective. From producers a perspective. Yes, from producers perspective ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Okay ಅಲ್ವಾ? This is more than sufficient. In ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ ನೋಡೋಣ. Now ಇನ್ನೊಂದು last common sense question ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡಿ ನನಗೆ. Now is inflation growing at highest percentage or inflation is running at lowest percentage? What do you think? Inflation ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆಯೋ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದೆಯೋ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿ at least? What do you think? Why ಜಾಸ್ತಿ? Why? Why more? Why more? Huh? Because after COVID, the industrial sector, the services sector, it is giving a boost. All industries reopen ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಈಗ. Nothing but obviously employment more, salaries more salaries andre more demand, more prices. Nothing but this year and next year will always be highest inflation. MPC target ತಗೊಂಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ or interest rate rise ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ till next year also our inflation will be running at highest percentage, more than 6.5. More than 6.5%. Now what does 6.5% mean? What does 6.5% mean? In 6.5 andre it is normal ginta it is more than 6.5%. More than 6.5%. Yes, ಇದು ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಗಿ 10 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ 6.5% increase ಆಗಿದೆ. What does it mean? It is 16.5% is the cost of this pen ಅಂತ. Yes, done. Now ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ what do you mean by inflation? What do you mean by inflation? Inflation is nothing but, I can say, gradual rise in prices. Gradual rise in prices of what? Both goods and services. Both goods and the services. Both goods and services. Now for calculating this inflation one, we have three major important, I can say, data. One is with respect to consumer level, consumer, wholesale level, WPI. At, I can say, overall economy, we have what? GDP deflator. But PPI mention ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ economic survey ಅಲ್ಲಿ? Obviously no, because it is not yet implemented. It is not yet implemented. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಡೇಟಾ ಇರಲ್ಲ. Yes, ಈಗ ನೋಡೋಣ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಡೇಟಾ. Observe this. CPI, WPI. Okay now. Yes, we have discussed. First is WPI andre wholesale price index, CPI at consumer level. Second one focus on only goods and services. Third one published by yaru Office of Economic Advisor, DPIIT, Ministry of Commerce. It is by NSO, Ministry of Statistics. Measures inflation at what level? It is at first stage, it is at last stage, or at wholesale market, at consumer market. For by covers only goods, only services. Then we have discussed this. For by second one highest one. Observe this. Exactly online perfect. Yes, hope you are getting. Okay. Perfect. Okay alva. Now from this ಏನು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಪ್ಪ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? ಇದು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, because there is some changes with respect to Karnataka economic survey with respect to this data. ನೋಡಿ ಏನೇನು ಅಂತ, which has increased, which has decreased, we'll discuss. Now as simple as that, never remember this, but remember the hierarchy. Now with respect to WPI, which one is being given highest weightage? It is manufactured items or industrial products are being given highest weightage. How do you know? Because it covers only goods. Second highest is being given with respect to yado. It is primary articles. Primary articles andre essential products. Essential products, majorly goods. Essential goods. Essential goods are being given highest weightage. Third one it is, I can say the fuel and the power. Fuel and the power. Yes, done. Okay, this is with respect to wholesale price index. CPIL nodadadre, which one is being given highest weightage? Consumer products. It must be consumer products. Which is that consumer product? It is first and foremost one, highest weightage it has been given. It is food and beverages. Food and the beverages, it data barko bardo. Because everything has changed now. Yes, but this is hierarchies. Yes, one is food and beverages. Second highest weightage, miscellaneous. Wrong. How can you say it is miscellaneous highest? Because there are no items. You can't give a status. Now, second highest one goes to housing. Second one goes to housing. And the third one it is the fuel and lighting. Fuel and the lighting. Then put it is the consumer products are being given highest weightage in CPI with respect to manufacturing. The manufacturing is being given highest weightage in WPI. It is wholesale price index. Okay now? Yes. You can solve data now. Economics are lane data exact. All these are basics. All these are basics. Then we have discussed this. Second major important one, the next major important data. Now inflation rise ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಪ್ಪ ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ ಸರ್ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೇಷನ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಓಡ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತ and even the same thing applies to our WPI also. Now compared to 22 and 23 data, compared to the 23 and 24 data, it has increased to esto. It has increased from 0.13%, I can say in 22-23 will compare madadre. It has increased to 1.18% increase agide. It has wholesale price index. Now give me a second answer. Will WPI will be highest or CPI will be highest? Always and always CPI highest irlebeku because it is only goods. Whereas services include adre, obviously the inflation rate will be highest antandre it is always CPI. Always CPI. Remember this and data tosdaga you should link. Yes, done with the game. Next one, sir, ಏನೇನ್ ಸರ್ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ? ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ದಿಸ್. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆದ್ರೆ ಹೇಳಿ. Exactly on and perfect. Yes. Okay, it has been raised by 1.18%. Yes. CPI will be always be highest. Yes. Okay. Observe this chart. ಓಕೆನಾ? ನೋಡಿದ್ರಾ ಏನ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು? ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು? ಎರಡೇ ಡೇಟಾ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ವಿಚ್ ಒನ್? ವಿಚ್ ಟು ಕಾಲಮ್ಸ್? 21, 22. Base of it is more. Now the first and the foremost one here is the item and the groups. Now which all items? It has highest weightage ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ highest weightage which has been given to ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ? manufacturing products, manufacturing the products. Second one, the fuel and power. Oh, sorry, second one is primary articles. Halwa. This is first one, the second one, and the third one. Done. Yes. Now, sir, second nodebekagirtakantaddu, this weightage has reduced as well as increased also. Now, which one has shown a decreasing trend and which one has shown a, I can say, the positive trend? Adinella nodbekiga. Last column, 2023. 2023. Now, with respect to 2023, which one has shown a positive trend? Which one has shown a positive trend? These two. Highest positive trend ತೋರಿಸಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು primary articles. Whereas positive but lowest positive ಅನ್ನೋದು fuel and power. Whereas sir positive ತೋರಿಸಿಲ್ಲ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ it is manufacturing. It is manufacturing. Highly important one. Highly important one. It is highly important one. It is this one. This one has shown a decreasing trend from the weightage. Decreasing trend of weightage, and now it is 64 point. It is 64.23 is the highest one manufactured. 65% alla exam 65 anta heltare. It's not 65%. It is 64.23, followed by 22.62, 22.62, followed by 13.15, 13.15. Whereas this had showed the highest weightage or highest rise. Sir, ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಸರ್ ರೈಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇವೆರಡು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಇಸ್ 100. ಟೋಟಲ್ ಇಸ್ 100, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಶೋರ್. ಟೋಟಲ್ ಇಸ್ 100, ಬಟ್ ಇವೆರಡು ಆರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಒನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಶೋನ್ ಅ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ಟ್ರೆಂಡ್, ದಿಸ್ ಒನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಶೋನ್ ಅ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ಟ್ರೆಂಡ್. ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆದಾಗ ದಿಸ್ ಹಾಸ್ ಬೀನ್ ಕಾಂಪೆನ್ಸೇಟೆಡ್ ಬೈ, I can say, the primary articles. Primary articles weightage has changed. Be cautious. Your question ಕೇಳಲೇಬೇಕು based on this weightage. Either factuals or based on statement based questions. Statement based questions ಕೇಳಲೇಬೇಕು. Now sir ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಎರಡು ನೋಡಬೇಕು. Now compare this two data. Compare this two data. 22 and 23. Exactly online. Yes. Compare this two. ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಿದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ? Primary articles are increasing or decreasing? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, and that's the reason I always say go for economic survey. Nodi anta. Every data or each and every question will always be asked from economic survey, either directly or indirectly. Authentic information nodbekilli. After understanding the concept, at least look for some original source. Sumne appendix matra. Now with respect to we have four major important, I can say, columns. Which is this graph? Which graph is this? Line graph. Pakana line graph. In line graph ali we have majorly four different commodities. One is all commodities, primary, fuel, manufacturing. Now the first and foremost one will start with respect to manufacturing because it has highest weightage. In manufacturing products, ಯಾವ ಕಲರ್ ಅಪ್ಪ ಇದು? Now is it showing increasing trend or it is showing a declining trend? It is showing a declining trend alwa. Yes or no? ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಇದು ಡೌಟಾ? So this done. Second one it is which one? It is second ಯಾವುದು? Primary articles. Is primary articles, is it positive or negative? ಯಾವ ಕಲರ್ ಇದು? It is showing increasing trend or decreasing trend? Increasing. Yes, increasing trend. Third one, it is fuel and power. Maggap ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಕೇಳ್ತಿರೋದು? Continuously increasing, continuously decreasing. ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಇಂಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಾ ನೋಡಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾಲಮ್ as a decrease, decrease ಆಗಿ increase, ಇದು decrease, increase, decrease, ಇದು increase, decrease. No graph will follow either decrease or either increase. There will be always a fluctuations, always a fluctuations. Done with respect to primary articles, orange, primary articles orange ಆಯ್ತು, followed by fuel and power. ಯಾವುದು? Fuel and power, is it showing a decreasing trend or increasing trend? Done. Decreasing trend, followed by all commodities. All commodities increasing or decreasing? Increasing or decreasing? Sir, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಗ್ರಾಫ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ. Is it decreasing or increasing? It is after. It is last year compare ಮಾಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ it is showing increasing trend. It is showing increasing trend. ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್, ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್. ಡನ್? ಯಸ್. ಓಕೆ. Next one, with respect to Karnataka wise data, it is Karnataka wise data. Now this data has been collected from, it is wholesale market. Sir, wholesale market ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್? It is APMC mandis. We have collected data from APMC mandis. We have collected from the 40 APMC mandis in the 40 APMC mandis, and we have analyzed at least the top major important one is this one. That is, we have analyzed how many products? We have analyzed more than 33 agricultural products have been analyzed from 40 APMCs. 33. But idralli major analysis will be on this products, because this contributes the highest to the, I can say, wholesale market or wholesale consumer price or wholesale market. It is wholesale price, the WPLA, the highest contributed is by ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿ. Is it cereals, oil seeds, or I can say condiments? Can I include services here? Can I include foreign goods? Yes. Can I include indigenous goods? Can I include agricultural products? Yes or no? Yes. Done. Okay, ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ APMC ಅಂತ. Done. Now, which one? Observe this. ಏನು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? Ashok, thank you very much. Sorry, like in the last class there was some inconvenience. Power off I thought. Okay, and that's the reason I'm continuing from there itself. Okay, now which all things I need to analyze here? Now the first and the foremost one, yes or no? Even so, budhiyantaragbeku ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ commodity group ನೋಡೋ first one, second one should be weightage, and third one should be based on this data. Based on this two data, which one has shown a positive, which one has shown a negative? ನೋಡೋಣ. Now the first and the foremost one here is, out of this I can say major commodities, which one has given the highest weightage? Highest weightage ಯಾವ್ದಕ್ಕೆ? It is the cereals. Now cereals ಅಲ್ಲಿ highest grown cereal, it is rice. Now rice, it has been grown in which district? It is Raichur is known for cultivation of, I can say, highest production of rice, majorly from which dam? It is Tungabhadra. It is majorly from, I can say, Tungabhadra. Majorly from Tungabhadra, highest weightage. That is the first weightage it is being given to the cereals. The second one, the second weightage yavudike? Is it millets, pulses, or oil seeds? Second major important weightage which has been given to oil seeds. Yes or no? Already. We are the largest importer, largest cultivator, largest producer. We are literally drinking enne. That is different. Not that enne, it is cooking oil. Cooking oil, that's OT packet. Okay, third weightage, it is sugar as well as guar. Okay, highest weightage kotidare. Now, based on this weightage, which one has shown a positive? I can say the growth rate, the positive, I can say variation, and which one has shown a negative variation? Which one has shown a positive variation? Which one has shown a negative variation with respect to WPI? Yes, which one positive? Nodi. Okay, Alva. Yes. Now with respect to ಇದು ಒಂದನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನನ್ನ ಕತೆ ಬೇಡ ಇಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ which one has shown a negative one? It is fiber, nothing but a fiber one. Highly important. Fiber is most important, but it is showing a negative trend. Nothing but demand has dropped anta. Demand has dropped. Which one is showing a highest weightage or highest demand? Highest variation yavadu? It is highest variation. It is a pulses. Highest variation is the pulses. To summarize all this content, you'll notice I said first and foremost one, we have, I can say, analyzed. We have analyzed how many APMs? 40 APMs. 40 APMs. We are analyzing how many agricultural products? 33 agricultural products. Based on this analysis, we came to the conclusion that our inflation is running at 23 al matra nododadre compared to April and compared to the November month, compare ಮಾಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ ನೋಡಿ, inflation is running at 13.8%, whereas ಅದೇ year ಅಲ್ಲಿ it was negative, but positive increase ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. It shows the prices of different products have increased. Sir, increase ಆದರೆ which all products have increased? Majorly onion ಎಷ್ಟು ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟ್ ನೋಡಿ, ಅಪ್ರಾಕ್ಸಿಮೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ 300% increase ಆಗಿದೆ. ನೋಡ್ದು ಆನಿಯನ್ ಇವತ್ತು 10 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ 50 ರೂಪಾಯಿ. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಆ ಸೀಸಮ್, ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೀಸಮ್? ಸಾಸಿವೆ. ಸರ್, ಸಾಸಿವೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, 10 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಪ್ಯಾಕೆಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಹಾ ಹೇಳು ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಹಾ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಹಾ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಸೈಜ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ. ಹೆಂಗೆ ಸರ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಈ ಮ್ಯಾಗಿದು ಸೇಮ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಸೇಮ್ 10 ರೂಪಾಯಿ, ಬಟ್ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ, ರೇಸ್, ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೇಷನ್. Yes, followed by next major important one is potato, alugade. Yes, ನಾರ್ತ್ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಆಲೂಗಡ್ಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲದರಲ್ಲೂ ಮ್ಯಾಂಡೇಟ್ರಿ. ಕುಷ್ಕಾ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ, ಕುಷ್ಕಾಗೂ ಆಲೂಗಡ್ಡೆ, ಬಿರಿಯಾನಿಗೂ ಆಲೂಗಡ್ಡೆ, ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ಆಲೂಗಡ್ಡೆ ಇಸ್ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ನಾರ್ತಲ್ಲಿ. ಹಾ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಮೇಜರ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ರೈಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ರೈಸ್, ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ರೈಸ್ ಯಾವುದು? ಅಗೇನ್ ತ್ರೀ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್. Negative prices. See, variation ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ದು ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. Variation, this is price rise, and which is showing a decrease in prices ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ it is a castor. What is castor? It is castor is nothing but what? Okay, ಅರ್ಳೆಣ್ಣೆ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ವಾ? Now can we drink this ಅರ್ಳೆಣ್ಣೆ? ಕುಡಿಬೋದಾ? See, dangerous. Yes, followed by coriander. ಅದೇ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಕೊತ್ತಂಬರಿ. Okay, followed by a tamarind. Yes, it is showing I can say negative or I can say decreasing trend. Never get confused about the decreasing trend. Ill torsid last table al torsidu. It is majorly with respect to, I can say, the percentage variations. Whereas in this slide we talked about which, I can say, the which products are shown a increasing trend. ಎಲ್ಲ 33 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. Yes or no? We are analyzing 33 agricultural commodities from 40 APMs. Under this chart, we are analyzing only 7 ಅಷ್ಟೇ. But in ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದು prices increase ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ decrease ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ ಅಂತ again our economic survey they have mentioned. This three has shown a highest weightage. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ highest weightage is onion. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ it is sesame followed by sesame. It is ಇದು ಜೀರಿಗೆಗೆ ಏನಂತಾರೋ or ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಂತಾರೆ ಸಾಸಿವೆಗೆ ಏನಂತಾರೆ ಮಸಾಲ ಹಾ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಹಾ ಓಕೆ ಹಾ it is potato. It is potato followed by decreasing trend. It is castor followed by coriander followed by it is a tamarind. Done. ಇವಾಗ ಯಾರು tamarind ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ಲ ಟೊಮ್ಯಾಟೊ. Yes or no? See, that is dangerous. Tamarind is good for the bones, good for metabolism. But ಅದರ ಸಾಂಬಾರ್ಗೆ tamarind ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಯಾರು, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್. ಈಸಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಟೊಮ್ಯಾಟೊ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹಾಕು. Done. Next one it is CPI. Next one it is CPI. Exactly online it is mustard. Okay. Exactly, average prices over a year 2023 exclusively 13% growth rate or 13% increasing. Yes. Okay alva. Next major important one, it is the second major important data, we call it as CPI. Now what is CPI? It is consumer price index. Consumer price index we have discussed in detail. What is CPI? It is inflation measurement. It is calculated at which stage? It is calculated at, I can say, consumer level. If it is calculated at consumer level, we call it as CPI. Now the CPI includes, CPI includes goods and services. Followed by, this has been released by RO. This has been released by NSO. NSO we have discussed. Followed by, what are the different types of CPI? What are different types of CPI? It is first one, it is industrial workers, agricultural laborers, the rural laborers. Followed by last one we call it as combined. Last one it is combined. ಈ ಮೂರನೇ ಯಾರು ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? It is released by I can say Labor Bureau, which is established in Shimla. Whereas the third major important one we call it as, I can say, combined. ಯಾರಪ್ಪ combined release ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? This combined one is released by NSO under Ministry of the Statistics and Program Implementation. Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Now sir ನಾವು CPI WP ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಸರ್ measure ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? First thing is to calculate the inflation. Second thing is to compensate the wages for the rise in inflation. ಈಗ for example, don't you think inflation rise ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದಂಗೆ, don't you think I need to get more, I can say, salaries than the previous one? ಹೌದಾ ಇಲ್ವೋ? ಅದನ್ನ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ನಂಗೆ ಒಂದು ಡೇಟಾ ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? And that data, it has been submitted by different one. If I'm working in industrial sector, I can say the data is being used. If I'm working in agricultural data. If I'm working in rural laborer, rural data. If I'm working in, I can say, the urban and rural in other sectors, I'll be using which data? It is combined data. Combined data is being used for calculating or for providing dearest allowances. That is for providing what? That is for providing a DA anta maatadivalla. We call it as dearest allowances. This data is being used. Okay alva? Iga notkondu hogoಣ. Now first and foremost one, and others, the first and the foremost one, it is CPI for industrial worker. Now sir, CPI for industrial worker ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಸರ್ ಬೇಕು ನನಗೆ? That is to provide them DA, dearness allowances to whom? ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂನಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ, only for who are working in industrial sector. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ I have discussed already. Mining comes under where? Mining comes under secondary sector. Second one, biggest trap here is transportation comes under services. It has been added under, I can say, industrial worker. Followed by, anyways, it gotta get factories. It is easier, but remember this mining as well as transportation. Yes, okay, the economic survey, majorly it will be outdated information. only ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಾತ್ರ it will be information, and that only information will be the present year prices or the last year's as well as 2022 data ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೇನು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಓದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಲೇಬಾರ್ದು. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೋರ್ ದೆನ್ 500 pages. ಅಷ್ಟು ಓದ್ಬೇಕಾ ಸರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಳೆ ಡೇಟಾ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ತುಂಬಿಸಿರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಫ್ರಮ್ 1980s ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ 2000 ಇಂದ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರೋ ಡೇಟಾ. yes or no? Yes, only the updated one this year we need to update it. Now the second major important one, which is the base year for I can say industrial worker, is it 2011 and 12? Is it 11 and 12 andre illa? In the year 2020, the labor bureau changed the base year to what? To 2016. Highly important one. Base year ivaga it is 2016 basis mele. Labor bureau which is established in, which is present in Shimla, under which ministry? Under Ministry of the Labor and Employment. Ministry of the Labor and Employment. Ministry of the Labor and Employment. Okay, now this is our first and the foremost one. Now sir, idella okay, now already odidri the basics. Now what is uniqueness with respect to I can say economic survey? Nothing but data alva. ಎಷ್ಟು increase ಆಗಿದೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು decrease ಆಗಿದೆ. We need to analyze that. Now the first and the foremost one with respect to in general agi CPI IW at all India level. CPI I can say IW, that is industrial worker at all India level. It has increased at what percentage? But it is growing at 4.9%. Nothing but more than WPI ilvo. More than WPI or not? WPI ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ವಿ? It is 1.18 ಅಷ್ಟೇ. WPI inflation target was, or inflation growth was, it is 1.18%. It must be lower. Whereas with respect to CPI though, always it must be highest. First one. Second one, it is 2023 ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ, purely last year ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ, it is I can say 5.4% inflation growth ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. It is 5.4% inflation rate. 5.4% inflation the rate followed by November though, as well as April, it is growing at. Sir ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಡೇಟಾ ಬೇಕಾ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, but just only analyze this. It is always because of COVID. After COVID, all the different industries has been opened now it is leading to positive inflation. Sir yavaga ivella kadame agatte antandre, as soon as the monetary policy committee increases what? Interest rate. Sir iವರು ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ಯಾರು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, government can increase the taxes. Can government increase the taxes? ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾ? ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. See, ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಮುಗ್ದೈತ್ ಕತೆ. It is nothing but how can they raise the interest rate ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ via cess, via surcharge. They can increase the percentage of interest rate. They can never increase the interest rate. Normal interest rate increase ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. Rather they can go for collecting of Swachh Bharat cess ಅಂತ. They can go for collecting of education cess. They can go for collecting of I can say Modi 3.0 ಅಂತ. Yes sir, all this are cess. ಬರ್ಕೊಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಾ just. Okay, it is education cess, it is Swachh Bharat cess. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ they can also raise in the form of surcharge. Now what is the difference between surcharge and what is the difference between cess? Cess ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, surcharge ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Okay, ಯಾವುದು? Cess. Okay, is it I can say it will reach the CFI reach ಆಗತ್ತಾ? First question. Second question, should I need to share it with the states? But it is not a part of CFI. It is a part of CFI. It's a part of CFI, but it is not mandatory to share. But kodbodu andre kodbodu, innishta, but it's not mandatory. Second one, surcharge is nothing but tax on tax. Tax on tax, again a part of CFI. Is it mandatory to share with the governments? State governments? Mandatory ilva? Mandatory ilva? But ಎರಡು mandatory ಇಲ್ಲ. But ಇದರ ಎರಡು difference ಏನು? Surcharge, it has been imposed in general. It's for all the projects and this can be used for any purpose. Whereas cess use ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದೇ purpose use ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Yes, if it is education, education ಮಾತ್ರನೇ. If it is for ಅದಾನಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದಾನಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರನೇ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Yes or no? Yes. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿದ್ರಾ? ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು? ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು? They scolded left and right, saying to the government that this has been the biggest scam. What you guys are doing? Sabi ಮತ್ತೆ government ಸೇರಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಂತ. You Supreme Court ನೋಡಿ, in our first report they have said that there is nothing scam. But the second report ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಈಗ? Biggest scam ಅಂತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. How? ಏನಕ್ಕೆ? ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ? ಸರ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ಓಕೆ, now the next measuring point one, it was CPI combined. Now what do you mean by CPI combined? What do you mean by CPI combined? Nothing but data will be collected both at rural level as well as at urban level. Now rural level ali can I go for collecting the data once in a week or once in a month will be good? It is once in a month. Whereas urban ali can I go for I can say weekly or can I go for monthly? It is both. Yes sir, normally monthly ಮಾಡೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ CPI. Whereas with respect to urban areas ali it is collected at weekly level. Whereas with respect to the rural it is collected monthly basis. Because range ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ, weekly ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. Whereas urban areas it's easier to collect. It is easier to collect, followed by what the base year. ನೋಡಿ base year ಇದಕ್ಕೂ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Combined base year has been changed I can say from 1970 to I can say 2018 in which year? That is in the year 2022 ali. In the year 2022. Now the CPI combined is released by yaru? Combined is released by it is NSO, Ministerial Statistics and Program Implementation. But Karnataka yarappa anta ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ at Karnataka it is Director or I can say Directorate of Economics and Statistics. Example ive ಕೇಳೋದು ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ or NSO ಅಂತ. At Karnataka level it is released by Directorate of Economics and Statistics. They will analyze the data at both rural as well as at urban level. Okay alva? Yes, highly important one. Now this data is being used by I can say MPC also, Monetary Policy Committee also. Okay alva? At last, about the end of the chapter, ಏನಪ್ಪ ಏನೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಪ್ಪ? Now how can we reduce these inequalities? How can we reduce this inflation? How can we grow our I can say the state economy? ಏನೇನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಒಳ್ಳೇದು ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ? How can we make this? ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದು? First one, is it good to provide more focus or more impetus on services sector? ಸರ್ವಿಸಸ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗತ್ತಪ್ಪ? ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಲೀಡ್ ಟು ಜಾಬ್ಲೆಸ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆಗ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಜಾಬ್ಸ್? ನೋ. ಬಟ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಮೇಜರ್ ಆಲ್ಟರ್ನೇಟಿವ್ ಏನು ಸರ್? ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಮೇಜರ್ ಆಲ್ಟರ್ನೇಟಿವ್, ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಐ ಗಿವ್ ಮೋರ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್? ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್ 50% ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಇದಾರಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡಿಂಗ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ 13%. ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ ಮಿಕ್ಕಿರೋದು ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಆಲ್ಟರ್ನೇಟಿವ್ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, what is the alternative? It is industrial sector. We need to focus majorly on industrial sector if you want to build our I can say the Karnataka state. See, services mele you can't sustain for longer period of time. Sir, ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಸರ್ ಲಾಂಗರ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ? 1990s ಇಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಇಲ್ವಾ ನಾವು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, See, we'll be generating, I can say, income, but that income will be ordered by only a few sections. Notice PCI, which sector or which region has highly developed andre? It's only Bengaluru. How can we make it more balanced development of Karnataka? That is majorly focusing on industrial sector. Majorly focusing on which sector? Industrial sector. How can we make this industrial sector a hugely important sector? Andandre, it is going for processing part. Going for processing at localized level. Development at tier 2 and tier 3 cities. Development should happen at tier 2 as well as tier 3 cities. Then only we can achieve what? We can achieve the third position in merchandise export. Third position with respect to merchandise export, and also we can double our gross state domestic product also within 4 to 5 years. See, then हम कर्नाटक target within 4 to 5 years ali, by 26-27 Australia, by 4 to 5 years Australia, we need to double our gross state domestic product. Idin double ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, can we rely only on services? No, we need to go for development of all the regions. Major impetus should be given on Kalburgi region, Kalyana Karnataka region, based on the, I can say, Nanjundappa committee recommendations. Based on Nanjundappa committee recommendation for enclaves of growth of the all the different regions. Second one, major impetus should be given on decentralized governance. Decentralized ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, but keeping district as the essential parameter. District as the essential parameter, we can grow our country. First one. Second major important one, ಏನಪ್ಪ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, we need to grow our gross domestic, I can say gross state domestic product, but adequate reviewing, adequate data collection, adequate reforms should also be done with respect to curbing of the increasing prices followed by inflation also. Idin focus ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Third major important one, industrial policy should reach majorly the lower tier cities. That is tier 2 ಮತ್ತು tier 3 cities ali, we need to bring in infrastructure, skill development, followed by policy making, as well as investment should also be pumped in. The major investment ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, either Bengaluru or either Mysore or Belgavi ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಬೆಳಗಾವಿ one of the least ಅಷ್ಟೇ. But in ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ regions ಎಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಪಾಪ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ? Don't you think if you have been formed a party, or if you have been formed or set up a government, don't you think your government has a responsibility to develop all the regions? See, normal agi, since independence in this Kalyana Karnataka region has been underdeveloped. Despite 70 years ಆದರೂ ಕೂಡ underdeveloped ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, what does it mean? It means all the policies are only on paper. It has not been implemented in true letter and spirit. Yes or no? Yes. ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, we need to give impetus on all this. Impetus on primary, impetus on fisheries, impetus on tourism, impetus on skill development, impetus on investment, impetus on, I can say, policy making. Impetus should be given on tourism, service sector promotions, followed by major important one is, I can say, impetus should also be given on, I can say, optimal land utilization also. Impetus should be given on the land utilization also. Impetus should be given on the land utilization also. Just done. This ends the first chapter of economic survey. Minimum 5 question in the first chapter. Minimum, I'm saying. Question either will be on, I can say, growth rate, nominal, the real, about sectors, about growth rate, about per capita income, about the, I can say, the states ranking based on per capita income, based on district growth, based on, I can say, based on agricultural rank contribution, industrial contribution, followed by with respect to ಏನೇನು ಇರಬಹುದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ, with respect you should also know about, I can say, prices, inflation, CPI, WPI, IW, followed by, I can say, the combined part. Yes, basics combined with current affairs I've discussed with respect to in this chapter. Yes, done. Okay, alva. ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ಡೌಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಎಸ್, ನೋ ಡೌಟ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆನಾ? Now the next major important one, next major important one, it is the fiscal policy. I'll just discuss the basics. Next class I'll not detail. Okay, alva. Now, what do you mean by exactly? Next chapter, obviously. Sir, will the government do that in next 4 to 5 years? Double agata ante. Gottilla nanage, nangen gottu. Okay. Sir, 3:30 ವರೆಗೂ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತೆ. ನಂಗೇನಿಲ್ಲ, ನೀವು ಕೂರ್ತೀರ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು 6 ಗಂಟೆವರೆಗೂ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಬೇಕಿದ್ರೆ. ಓಕೆ. Now with respect to fiscal policy. Now, what do you mean by, what's the definition of fiscal policy? What's the definition of the fiscal policy? It is, what do you mean by fiscal? Fiscal ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? The measures which has been taken up by government, as simple as that, or as soon as you see fiscal, it is the initiative which has been taken up by the government. To either boost or either to reduce what all things? Either to boost, I can see growth rate of a country, correct now? Boost the growth rate of the country, or what? Or to reduce, I can say the prices. Or to reduce prices. Now, iveredu goal irdu. Will they focus on inflation? Will the government focus on inflation? Never. Our ಒಂದೇ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಇರೋದು, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾನು ಗ್ರೋತ್ ರೇಟ್ ಬೂಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಮತ್ತೆ ಸರ್ ಇದನ್ನ ಯಾರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಸರ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಬೀನ್ ಮಾನಿಟರ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ಮಾನಿಟರಿ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಕಮಿಟಿ. ಮಾನಿಟರಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ RBI, ಅದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಟರ್. It is RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India. ಅಂತ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Done. Now with respect to growth rate, sir, growth rate ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, or growth rate ನ increase ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, nothing that during COVID our growth rate was lesser, our growth rate was negative, but ನಾನು ಈಗ growth rate ನ boost ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. How can I boost this growth rate? What different initiatives they'll take? Either they have two major important things. One is a tax mulaka. Second one we call it as subsidies. Now ಏನಪ್ಪ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಈಗ ನಾನು ಗ್ರೋತ್ ನ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, will I increase taxes or will I decrease taxes? Will I decrease taxes or increase? I must decrease taxes. Second one, if I need to boost the growth rate of a country or growth rate of a state, will I increase the subsidies or will I decrease the subsidies? Pakana? Obviously yes. And this bhagyas are nothing but subsidies, a freebies, yes or no? Yes or no? Now we can solve a concept really. Now this subsidies and reduction of taxes, it is good for a growth rate of a country or growth rate of a state. Is it good for a government? Is it good for our budget? Is it good for our fiscal consolidation? Yes or no? No. If it is no, how can we make this rational? How can we make this rational? ಹೆಂಗಪ್ಪ rational ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? It is targeted subsidies, or as simple as that, rationalization of subsidies. Nothing but what? Rationalization. Example ಕೇಳಲೇ ಬೇಕಿವೆಲ್ಲ. Yes, it is rationalization of subsidies. Sir, ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೊಡಿ ಸರ್ rationalization ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ. by using a concept of technology, by using a concept of e-governance, by using a concept of technology, that is DBT. What is DBT? Direct benefit transfer, linked with JAM Trinity. Linked with JAM Trinity, we are providing subsidies to the exactly and right beneficiaries. Exactly and the right beneficiaries ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. Now, do you think that this 5G guarantee schemes is it good for a country or is it good for a state? See, ಏನಾದ್ರು ಕೊಡ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಫಾಲೋ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. But is it good being a civil servant? Is it good or bad? What do you think? Is it rational? Is it rational? No. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. We are providing it to general population based on sex. Based on a sex. Direct subsidy bad. ಹೆಂಗ್ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್? ಮಿಡಿಲ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಬರ್ತಾರಂತನಾ? ಹಾ, ಮಿಡಿಲ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಇವಾಗ ತೆಗೆದೇ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಬಟ್ ಆ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಬರ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಈಗ. ಇಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕಿಸಾನ್, ಪಿ ಎಂ ಕಿಸಾನ್, ಆ ಕಿಸಾನ್, ಪಿ ಎಂ ಕಿಸಾನ್ ಕೂಡ ಸೇಮ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೊಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಫಿಕ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಲೂ. ಅವ್ರೇನ್ ಸಾಚಾಗಳೇನಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಸೇಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಸೇಮ್. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ರಾಷನಲೈಸಿಂಗ್ nothing but they are compromising the economy. They are compromising the public fund. They are compromising the public fund. Now second one, ನಾನು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಸ್ ನ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಸರ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ವಾ? ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಒನ್ಸ್ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ that can never be increased. That can never be increased. ಈ ಕಡೆ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಕಡೆ ಸಬ್ಸಿಡೀಸ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. Now, where will I get the income? ಈಗ ನಾನು think that I am in my family. My family is neither reducing the spending. My income is also not increasing. My salary is also not increasing. How can I manage this? It is via liabilities. Via liabilities or via borrowing. Via a borrowing. Now, borrowing ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಯಾರ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು borrow ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ? Either I can go with respect to, if I am state government, I can go to central government. Either I can go to RBI. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಹತ್ರನ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು, ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಬಾರೋವಿಂಗ್. ಆರ್ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಮುಗಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ವಿತ್ ಪರ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಾರೋ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ, ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. International market also. Yes, all these concepts you must know, and all this will be applying in our next class. This is about the basic concept. Second basic concept ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ about fiscal policy. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ fiscal policy ಓದಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. See, ನಾನೀಗ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ if I talk you about revenue expenditure, ಏನ್ revenue expenditure ಅಂದ್ರೆ? What is effective RD? What is a grant, central government grants, state taxes? ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ಸ್, ಓದಿರಲೇಬೇಕು ನೀವು. ಓದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಡನ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಮೇಜರ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ನೋ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಬಜೆಟ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಮೇಜರ್, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲ, ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಒನ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಬಜೆಟ್. ನಾವು ಬಜೆಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಇನ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್, ಮತ್ತೆ ಕೇಳಬಾರ್ದು ನನ್ನ. Now this budget is being classified into two things. It is being classified into two things. ಈ ಟೇಬಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಬರಲೇಬೇಕು. Now what are the two things? What are the two sub parts of budget? It is revenue budget, and the second one we call it as capital budget. Now what do you mean by revenue budget ಅಂದ್ರೇನು, capital budget ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? What do you mean by revenue budget? ನೋಡೋಣ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೋಟಿ ತಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಓಕೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಏನೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಈ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅವ್ರು ಏನೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆಲ್ ವಿತ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಫಿಸ್ಕಲ್ ಕನ್ಸಾಲಿಡೇಷನ್. ಈ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ದಿಸ್ FD, ಫಿಸ್ಕಲ್ ಡೆಫಿಸಿಟ್ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್. ದಟ್ ದ ಬಿಗ್ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಪೈಟ್ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್. ಸರ್ ಮತ್ತೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಈ ಕಡೆ ಫಿಸ್ಕಲ್ ಡೆಫಿಸಿಟ್ ಸಾಲನು ತಗೋತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅಟ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಇವರು ಭಾಗ್ಯನೂ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಇವರು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಡೈವರ್ಟಿಂಗ್. ಅದು ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? ಎಸ್ ಆರ್ ನೋ? ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ capital expenditure amount has been diverted to revenue, I can say revenue expenditure. Yes, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಡೇಟಾನ ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಆರ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ನೆವರ್ ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಬೈ ಕೀಪಿಂಗ್ ದ ಡೇಟಾ ಇನ್ ಯೋರ್ ಮೈಂಡ್. ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಅನಲೈಸ್ ಲಿಟಲ್ ಬಿಟ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡೇಟಾ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು, ನಾನು ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ. ದೇವ್ ಸೆಡ್ ದಟ್ ಇನ್ ಆರ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಇಸ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ವಿತ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ FD ಅಂತೆ. ಫಿಸ್ಕಲ್ ಕನ್ಸಾಲಿಡೇಷನ್ ಡೇಟಾನ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಟಾಪ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಟು ಆಲ್ ದ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಸ್. ಬಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ರೈಟ್? ನೋ, ಯು ಕಾಂಟ್ ಅನಲೈಸ್ ಇನ್ ಸಚ್ ಮ್ಯಾನರ್ಸ್. ಎಸ್ ನೋ, ಅದು ಒಂಥರ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಐ ವಾಶ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಗುರು ನೀನು ಲೋನ್ ತಗೋ, ನಾನು ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಆದರೆ ನೆವರ್ ಕಾಂಪ್ರಮೈಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್. ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಎನಿ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ವಿತ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟು ಡೆಫಿಸಿಟ್, ಅಂಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಲೆಸರ್ ದನ್ ದಟ್. ಅದು ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇದಲ್ಲ. ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಮೋರ್, ಆರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಮೋರ್. ಎಸ್, ಈಗ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹಳ್ಳಿ ಕಡೆಯವ್ರಿಗೆ, ಈಗ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಓದಿರೋರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅನ್ಕೋತಾರೆ? ಸೂಪರ್, ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡ್ತಾವ್ರೆ, ಸಾಲನೂ ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಸಾಕಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಬೇಕಾದ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದಲ್ವಾ? ಎಸ್ ಆರ್ ನೋ? ದ ಬಿಗ್ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರೇವ್ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಇಸ್ without investing on capital. Without investing on capital, no employment, no economic growth rate, no inflation. If there is no inflation, no growth of a country or growth of a state. Yes, okay alva? Now what is the difference between revenue and what is the difference between capital? Revenue andre enu, capital andre enu? Development. So don't think that I am rejecting Congress anta. BJP ಇದ್ರು ಅವನ್ನ ಕ್ರಿಟಿಸೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ ನಾನು. ಓಕೆ, ನನಗೇನು ಯಾರು ಮುಲಾಜೇನಿಲ್ಲ, ನನಗೆ ಯಾರು ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೋ ಅವರು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಓಟ್ ಹಾಕಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕಿತ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ನೋಡಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಕಾಮಿಡಿ ಅದು? ಸಾಧಕೋಕಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದು ಓಟ್ ಹಾಕಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು 1 2 ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿಲ್ವಾ? ಯಾವ ಮೂವಿ ಅದು? ಅದು ದರ್ಶನ್ ಮೂವಿ ಅದು. ಕಲಾಸಿ ಬಳೆ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನು ಮತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಡುಮಾ ಇರ್ತಾನಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ಲೇಟ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಬಿಟ್ಟು ಈ ಕಡೆ ಆ ಕಡೆ ತಿರ್ಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು. ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಬಿಜೆಪಿ, ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್. ಅಣ್ಣ ಓಟ್ ಹಾಕಿಲ್ಲ, ನಿಮ್ಮವರೇ ಅವ ಜೈ ಅಂತಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ಹಿಂಗೆ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಷ್ಟೇ. ಓಕೆ, ಸಿ ಐ ವೋಂಟ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಪಾಲಿಟಿಕ್ಸ್, ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಅವೇರ್ ಏನು ನಡೀತಿದೆ. ಓಕೆ, now with respect to budget, it has been divided into two things. One is revenue and capital. Now what is the major difference between revenue and capital? See, revenue alli there is no liability to repay back. There is no liability to repay back. ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಇದು ಗೊತ್ತೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ರೆವೆನ್ಯೂ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲಿ, ಅದು ದುಡ್ಡು ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ there is no liability, ಇಲ್ಲಿ there is a liability. ಇದೊಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು, you can solve this question. There is a liability. Now this revenue, it is being divided into, again it is divided into two things. Divided it into two things. Now what is revenue? What are different types of revenue? It is revenue, it is being divided into two things. Innenappa, okay, I'll explain this. ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಲೈಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅಂತ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ನೋ, ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಲೈಬಿಲಿಟಿ? ಸಿ, ಲೈಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? ನಾನು ನಿನಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಸರ್, ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾನು ವಾಪಸ್ ಕೊಡದಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಇದೆಯಾ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಿರ್ಬೋದು? ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಸ್, ಸಬ್ಸಿಡೀಸ್. ಈಗ ಭಾಗ್ಯ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾಳೆ ಬಂದು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರ ಮನೆಗೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಕೊಡಿ ಅಂತ? ನೋ, there is no liability to repay back. There is no liability to repay back. Whereas think that I have invested or I have given a loan to state governments, ವಾಪಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ? ಕೊಡ್ಲೇಬೇಕು. ಅದೇ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ, ತಗೋ ಮಚ್ಚ ನೀನು ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ, no liability, we call it as revenue. This revenue, it has been divided into two things. It is RR, Rajarajeshwari, and as RE, Royal Enfield. Now RR ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ revenue receipts and revenue expenditure. Revenue receipts as well as revenue expenditure. Now revenue receipts ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, revenue expenditure ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? See, always ನೀವು ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕಾಮರ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ receipts ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ. Receipts is always an income side of the government. Always without liability, it's an income side of the government. Positive ಯಾವ್ದಿಲ್ಲಿ? This is positive, whereas it is negative. It is negative. Okay, ನಾನು expenditure ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ. Now sir, revenue receipts na sir ನನಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬರುತ್ತೆ sir? It is as simple as that. It is divided into two things. Again, that is a tax and non-tax. Tax and non-tax. Taxes alladre direct tax, indirect tax. Direct tax is on ಎರಡು ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. It is income tax, corporation tax, wealth tax, GAFA tax. GAFA andre Google, Amazon, Facebook and Apple. GAFA tax. MAT tax. What is MAT? Minimum alternative tax. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ direct property tax, wealth tax, fringe tax, estate tax. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿದಾನೆ ಸರ್. ಮತ್ತೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಸರ್? ಈಗ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಪೇ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ವಿಲ್ ಪೇ ಟು whom? Directly will pay to, I can say, the right beneficiary, or I can say directly to the government. Adu bittu, if you are paying to shop owner and shop owner is paying to the government, we got an indirect. Indirect taxes can have example. So it is direct and indirect. Indirect adre major one is GST, service tax, value added tax, excise, customs. Well, jamandalittu ella integrate agide. Major ಆಗಿರೋದು ಮೂರೇ. One is GST, goods and services tax. Second one, it is excise. How is excise ಏನಕ್ಕೆ? excess tax ಏನಕ್ಕೆ? ಇದು liquor ನೋಡಿ ಇದೆ. See, excise is, I can say, if the goods are moving within the states or between the states ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ರೆ within a country. Now think that this is India. Now we have different states. Now if a good is moving from one state to the other, border ಯಾವ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ? ಎಕ್ಸೈಸ್. ಕಸ್ಟಮ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ there will be customs duty. This comes under indirect taxes. ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಿ, ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಡೆಡ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ನೋಡಿ. ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಪೇ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಊಟ ತಿಂದಾಗ. obviously no, I'll pay it to the shop owner or hotel manager or hotel company ge, and this company will pay to the government. Yes, but non taxes ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಸರ್? ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. examples, the fees, the fines, penalties. ಈಗ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ನಾನೇನೋ ವೈಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಗಾಡಿ ಓಡಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಗುದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ, ಹೆಲ್ಮೆಟ್ ಹಾಕಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ವಾಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಯು ಡು? ಗುದ್ದಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ನಿಗೆ ಬೇಜಾರಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಹೆಲ್ಮೆಟ್ ಹಾಕಿಲ್ವಲ್ಲ, he'll take me fines. Nothing but what fine? It is penalty. The fines, the fees, we call it as non-tax. Okay now this is non-tax. Now the revenue expenditure ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಪ್ಪ? What do you mean by revenue expenditure? Which is expenditure, ನೋಡಿ, expenditure which is not creating any asset. ಸರ್ ನಾನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಅದು ಅಸೆಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವ್ದು ಸರ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಎಸೆಟ್ ಏನೇ ಸೆಟಪ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ಅಂತನಾ? ಡಿಕೆ ಸೆಟಪ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ. ವಾಟ್ ಡು ಯು ಥಿಂಕ್? ಹೌದಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊರಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? ವಾಪಸ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಲೈಬಿಲಿಟಿನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಮುಗೀತು. ನಾವು ಯಾವುದು ಸರ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಮೇಜರ್ ಆಗಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಆಗೋದು, ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸ್ಯಾಲರೀಸ್, ದ ಪೆನ್ಷನ್ಸ್, ಸಬ್ಸಿಡೀಸ್. ಹೌದೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ? ಸಿ, ಮಗಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ. Salaries, the pensions, followed by subsidies, followed by either fines illa, followed by I can say grants, defense expenditure, grants. Okay alva? Yes, I hope there is no doubts. As simple as that, transfer payments. Now sir, ಡಿಫೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ ಹಾಕಿದಿರಲ್ಲ, ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಸರ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿದೀರಾ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ರೆವೆನ್ಯೂ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್? ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಬಿ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ಈಗ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ನೋಡಪ್ಪ, ನಾನೇನು ಹೆಲಿಕಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ ಮೋದಿನ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋಕೆ. Now, don't you think it's not a wasteful expenditure? Obviously, it is a capital expenditure. It can also be capital, but other day-to-day uses use ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರೆ day-to-day maintenance will be using what? I can say will be using what? Day-to-day maintenance, we call it as revenue expenditure. Next one, it is capital. Now, capital again, it has been divided into two things. One, we call it as capital receipts, capital expenditure. Now, capital receipts andre enappa? Increase the liability, whereas expenditure andre creating of assets. Now, idralli positive yavudu, negative yavudu? It is always and always this is positive. ನಾನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಎಸ್ ಆರ್ ನೋ? ಇದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಸರ್ ಏನು ಓದ್ತೀರಾ? ಎಸ್ ಆರ್ ನೋ? ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಸರ್ ಓದ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಐ ವಾಶ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಹಿಟ್ ದಟ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಸ್. ಸರ್ ಫೇಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರು, ಫೇಕ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಅದು ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಸ್ಕ್ ದ ಡೇಟಾ ಸಕ್ಕತ್ತಾಗಿರೋದು ಹೈಲೈಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಇಲ್ದಿರೋದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಡಿಮೆ. ಎಸ್ ಆರ್ ನೋ? It is this should be more always. Whereas this should be lesser. Sir, ಏನು ಸರ್ ಇದು ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ರೆಸಿಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ? ರೆಸಿಟ್ಸ್ ನಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು, ರೆವೆನ್ಯೂ ಜನರೇಟೆಡ್ ಬೈ ಸೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೈ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೈ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್. ಸರ್ ನನ್ನ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಯಾವುದು ಸರ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಈಗ ಥಿಂಕ್ ದಟ್ ನಾನು ವಿಧಾನಸೌಧ ಸೆಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಅವ್ರೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ನಾಳೆ ಬೇಡ ನಾನು ಹಳ್ಳಿ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹಳ್ಳಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಮಾವೇಶ ಇಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ that we call it as what? We call it as disinvestment. Take an example of, I can say if they are selling, I can say VSIL, Vishweshwarya Iron and Steel Industries Limited, ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ comes under disinvestment. Nothing but my liability is increasing, nothing but I'm losing the asset. ನಂಗೆ ಈ ಅಸೆಟ್ ನಂಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಬರ್ತಿತ್ತು, ಇವಾಗ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಮಾರ್ಬಿಟ್ರ. ಎಸ್ ಆರ್ ನೋ? ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಂಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ದೇವನಹಳ್ಳಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಬರೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು? ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾರ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಏನು ಬೆಂಜ್, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಮನೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಬೆಂಜ್, ಈಗ ಚೊಂಬು. ಎಸ್ ಆರ್ ನೋ? ದಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್, ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೇ, capital receipts as increased. Okay alva? Disinvestment comes under this one. Whereas capital receipts andre ಏನಪ್ಪ? capital receipts ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ disinvestment, that is my liability will increase, my profit will reduce, my profit for the company or profit for the government will be lost. Again, disinvestment ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ we have strategic disinvestment, non strategic disinvestment ಅಂತ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿಕ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಓನರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರೆ, if you are changing the ownership from public to private, we call it as strategic disinvestment. Majority shares sell ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ. Whereas non strategic ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಎಸ್ ಆರ್ ನೋ? ದಿನಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಅಡಿನೇ ಮಾರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ we call it as non strategic. If you are selling the complete land or partial land, we call it as strategic disinvestment. ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಕಥೆ ಬೇಡ. Disinvestment comes under capital receipts. Whereas capital expenditure ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? It is expenses which is being given to creation of capital assets. For creation of the capital assets, for the creation of what? The capital assets. ಈಗ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ, ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಏನಪ್ಪ? ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, it is divided it into I can say major infrastructure. Now infrastructure ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ I have discussed social infrastructure as well as economic infrastructure. Social infrastructure as well as economic or physical infrastructure ಅಂತ. Social ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Creation of social capital. Nothing but it can be investment on health, education, skilling. Social, I can say economic or physical infrastructure ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ which all things? It includes the roads, the railways, airways, waterways. ಡನ್. ಯಶ್, ಇದು ಯಾವ್ದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ನಾನೀಗ? ಯಶ್, I need to do this more, whereas I need to reduce this, or I need to completely eliminate this. I need to completely eliminate this. ಸರ್, ಯಾವ ಒಂದು ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರೀಸ್ನ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾನು ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್. ಸಿ, ಅದನ್ನ ಫಂಕ್ಷನಿಂಗ್ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಚೇಂಜ್ ದ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ವೈ ಆರ್ ಯು ಸೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್? ಈಗ ನನಗೇನೋ ಮನೆ ಆಗಿ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಮನೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಮನೆನೇ ಮಾರ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನ? ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲಿ? ಮನೆಯನ್ನ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಷ್ಟೇ. ನೀನು ಮನೆ ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರು ಕೊಡಿ ಸರ್, ನಾವು ಮನೆ ಹೊಡೆದು ಮಟಕತ್ಬೇಕಾ? ಓಕೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ ರೆಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ದ, ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ಆರ್ ಓನ್, ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ದ ಓನ್ಡ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಓನ್ಡ್, ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರೀಸ್. rather than changing or rather than shifting the completely selling, we need to go for renting, leasing. See, yaro ishtaron man setup ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. Normally it is private. Sir, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಓಕೆ, ನಾರ್ಮಲಿ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಓಕೆ, ಬಟ್ ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡಿ, ಅಷ್ಟು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಮುಗೀತು. Now the loans which has been given to other countries comes under which one? The loans which has been given to other countries, capital expenditure or capital, I can say receipts. Yes, ಅದು ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ರೇಟು, ರೆವೆನ್ಯೂ ರೆಸೀಟ್ಸ್. ನೋಡಿ, ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ನನಗೆ, ಲೋನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ರೇಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ದಟ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ರೆವೆನ್ಯೂ ರಿಸಿಟ್ಸ್, ನಾನ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನಾನು ಮತ್ತೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಕೊಡೋ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ರೇಟು, ಹೌದೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ? ಈಗ ನನ್ನ ಲೋನ್ ವಾಪಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ, ಈಗ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತಪ್ಪ? ಈಗ ರೀಪೇಯಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಲೋನ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬೀನ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಟು ಶ್ರೀಲಂಕಾ, ಅಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್, ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ರೆಸೀಟ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತಾ? ಅಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲಲ್ವಾ? ನನಗೆ ಇನ್ನು ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಬರಲ್ವಲ್ಲ. Hope you getting? I will be losing the, I can say, profit from now on. Yes. Second one, investment with respect to the skill building of defense personalities. Capital expenditure. If I am, I can say investing on, I can say minister security. Revenue expenditure, day-to-day functioning. Next chai biscuit of government, revenue expenditure, followed by day-to-day administration of government, revenue expenditure. Okay alva? See, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಇಲ್ಲ, ನನಗೇನು ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಗೋವಿಂದ. ಓಕೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? whereas here I have a liability, I have a capital creation. Next one, grants given to states, revenue expenditure. Now ಈಗ ನಾನು ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟನಪ್ಪ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ, it comes under revenue receipts from the government, central government. But after giving this grants to the state government, think that will Karnataka waste this, or will they use it for some capital generation? ಏನಾದರೂ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. They can either use it for, I can say, revenue expenditure, or they can go it for infrastructure also. At least ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಆದರೂ they'll use it for infrastructure. And that percentage we call it as effective revenue deficit. ಬರ್ಕೋಬೇಡಿ, ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಓಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಓಕೆನಾ? Now what is the difference between, I can say, surplus and deficit? What is the difference between surplus and deficit? What is the difference between the surplus and deficit? ಸರ್ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು, ಡೆಫಿಸಿಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬೇಗ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕೀಗ. ನಾವು ಸರ್ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಯಾವಾಗಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ನನಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾರ ಸ್ಯಾಲ್ರಿ ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ, will it be surplus or deficit? ಅದ್ರ ಬದಲು ನಂಗೆ ಬರ್ತಿರೋ ಸ್ಯಾಲ್ರಿ 100 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ, Now I think that my salary is 100 rupees. My expenditure is, one kade my expenditure is 80, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಡೆ my expenditure is 120. Now where do you think there is a deficit? It is 120 alva. Nothing but ಏನು, my revenue receipts or my receipts are more than my expenditure, or my expenditure is more than my expenditure is more than my income. ಸರ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಸರ್ ದುಡ್ಡನ್ನ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸಾಲ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಒನ್, ಈಗ ನಾನು 100 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ 80 rupees. ಇನ್ ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ 20 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, ಸರ್ಪ್ಲಸ್. ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ಯು ಸಾಲ. I can generate profit. But is it good to go for profit? Is it good to go for, I can say, the surplus? But ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಆದರೂ ಕೂಡ they are going for deficiting. Is it good to go for surplus? See, ಯಾವತ್ತು developed countries surplus ಹೋದ್ರೆ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ, because already infrastructure has been already set up. But I can say developing countries like India, they should always go for more money multiplication. Money multiplication ಅಂದ್ರೇನು, ದುಡ್ಡು ತಗೊಂಡಾದ್ರೂ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್, ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೇ ಸರ್ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 20 ರೂಪಾಯಿಂದ ನೀನು ಉಳಿಸ್ಬಿಡಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಅದೇ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್ 20 rupees and if you use this for day to day functioning ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ that is wrong. A day to day maintenance, that is wrong. But think that by using this 20 rupees I am generating 40 rupees. Is it good or bad? Obviously good. ಈಗ ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ದುಡ್ಡಿಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ, ನಾ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದುಡ್ಡು ತಗೊಂಡು ಸಾಲ ಮಾಡಿ ಮನೆ ಕಟ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಆ ಮನೆ ಕಟ್ಟಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನಂಗೆ ತಿಂಗಳ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಸ್ ಗುಡ್ ಆರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್? ಗುಡ್. ಅದ್ರ ಬದಲು ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಇರೋದು 100 ರೂಪಾಯಿ. ಈಗ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, 20 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಸಾಲ ಮಾಡಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಾಕ್ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಈಗ ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಗುಡ್ ಆರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್? Bad. Nothing but for day to day maintenance it is always bad. Whereas India, or I can say developing countries like India, they need to go for deficit financing. Deficit ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕು, and that deficit amount need to be diverted towards, I can say, capital expenditure. But Karnataka is failing with respect to this. ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಕಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ತೋರಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಫಿಸ್ಕಲ್ ಕನ್ಸಾಲಿಡೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Perfect. Fiscal consolidation, maintaining our deficit is perfect. But compromising on capital expenditure is dangerous for a country. ಇಲ್ಲಿ 20 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿ, ನಾನು ಮನೆ ಕಟ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ. ಮನಿ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್, yes or no? Yes, always surplus ಒಳ್ಳೇದಲ್ಲ, ರಿಸ್ಕ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೇಬೇಕು. You should take risk and you should do something. Done? Okay. Now deficit ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಸರ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, as simple as that surplus ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ my revenue or my expenditure is less than my revenue or income. Nothing but ನನ್ನ income ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ than my expenditure. As simple as that. ಹೌದಾ? ನನ್ನ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ ನನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ಗಿಂತ, ನನಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ. Nothing but surplus. I'm saving something. Yes, first one. Second one, deficit ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Deficit here is my expenditure is more than my income, or my income is lesser than my expenditure. Yes, done. Now ಈಗ what do you mean by revenue receipts ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? What do you mean by revenue receipts or revenue deficit ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? What do you mean by revenue deficit? Revenue deficit is nothing but as simple as that my revenue expenditure is more than my revenue receipts. ಹೌದೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ? If my revenue expenditure is more, ನಾನು ಡೇ ಟು ಡೇ ಫಂಕ್ಷನಿಂಗ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ than I'm generating from the revenue. Receipts, we call it as revenue deficit. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಡೆಫಿಸಿಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಹುಷಾರಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಹಾ, capital expenditure will be more good alladu. It is as simple as that. CR will be more than capital expenditure. Reverse. It is reverse. Idu good, whereas this is bad. This is more, whereas this is lesser. That will lead to deficit. Revenue receipts, capital receipts. Next one, budget deficit andre enappa? Budget deficit andre enu? It is budget deficit here is, I can say the revenue expenditure is more. Revenue expenditure is more than the capital expenditure. Then the capital expenditure again ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. See, liability ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಇದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ, ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ. Nothing but what will happen? ನಮ್ಮ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಏನು ಫೇಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ? ಬಜೆಟ್ ಡೆಫಿಸಿಟ್. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಬಜೆಟ್ ಡೆಫಿಸಿಟ್. ಸರ್, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಓಕೆ. ಈ ಬಜೆಟ್ ಡೆಫಿಸಿಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ನಾನು ಬೇರೆ ಯಾರೋ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋ ಸಾಲ ಎಲ್ಲ ತೀರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ, ನಾನು ಬಡ್ಡಿ ಕಟ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಲ್ವಾ? ಆ ಬಡ್ಡಿ ನಾನೇ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಮಾಡಲಿ? ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಮೈ ಲೈಬಿಲಿಟಿ. ಅದು ನಾನು ತಗೊಂಡಿಲ್ಲ ಸಾಲನ, ಅದನ್ನ ಯಾರೋ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿರೋದು, ಬಟ್ ನಾನೇ ಕಪ್ಪ ಕಟ್ಟಬೇಕು. ಸರ್, ನೋ. If I'm eliminating, I can say already borrowed, I can say interest rate from the previous government, we'll get what? Fiscal deficit. Yes, highly important one. Borrowing from the, or I can say fiscal deficit in the, normal government deficit. If fiscal deficit in the interest rate na ಕಳೆದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Will be getting a primary deficit. Fiscal deficit is as simple as the government deficit. Ella deficit of government. Fiscal is nothing but government. Deficit ಅಂದ್ರೆ liability. Now idrinda, if I eliminate the interest rate which has been borrowed by the previous government, we'll be getting what? Primary deficit. ಈ fiscal deficit ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಾ? ಸರ್, ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಆದ್ರೂ we have used it for capital expenditure. Out of this fiscal deficit, we have used few section towards capital expenditure. Nothing but grants ಕೊಟ್ಟನಪ್ಪ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಗೆ. ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟೆ, ಅದು ನನ್ನ ಸಾಲ ಆಯಿತು. ಹೌದೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ? ನಾನು ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಯು ಅ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್. ಯಾರು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್? ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟೆ. ಬಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಸ್ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಹಾಳು ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ದೇ ಆರ್ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್. ನಾವು ಇದರಿಂದ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಖರ್ಚಿಂದ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಳಿಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅದನ್ನ ಒಳ್ಳೇದಕ್ಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ. And that we call it as what? Effective revenue deficit. Nothing but revenue deficit minus, I can say the capital which has been used for, I can say useful purposes. We call it as effective revenue deficit. Effective agi we need to calculate effective revenue deficit. Yes, sir, in general ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ RD revenue deficit, wasteful expenditure, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜು the states had used it for good purpose, and this we call it as effective revenue deficit. Yes, effective revenue deficit. Okay alva? Center in the state ಗೆ, and the states are using it for capital construction. Okay alva? Done. See, adadmele we'll also discuss about FRBM Act, Karnataka FRBM Act of 2002 2003 ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಎನ್ಕೇಸಿಂಗ್ ಕಮಿಟಿ, ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ effective revenue deficit ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, we'll discuss each and everything in our next class. Yes, ಇಷ್ಟು at least ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲೇಬೇಕು basics if you want to know about the fiscal policy second chapter. Yes, done. ಏನು ಡೌಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಆಫ್ಲೈನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಲೈಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಯಸ್, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಬೇಡ, just give a like. Okay alva? Yes, is there any doubts from today's class? Okay now? Yes, Thank you. See you all next week. Online, thank you. Before leaving, give a like. Okay.